knows how to use it. He'll get great post position on you. He's got all the up and unders, the jump hooks. He can step out and shoot it. He can do so many things to his team, and they play off him well. He plays a really important role for this Spurs team.
He's got a lot of junk in his game.
Right.
In the low block. And he's a great passer, too, by the way.
Great pass.
So when he gets it going, you can run your offense through him because he can command a double team in the low block. There aren't a lot of guys that can guard him one-on-one in the low block. I've only seen a handful of guys this year.
Huge advantage tonight. Boris Diaw will not play. You're way too young to be wearing glasses. Those are the Russell Westbrook
good, though,
glasses, right? They're clear.
Listen.
You don't actually need those, do you?
Please.
Want to put them on?
Yeah. This shows you right here.
Oh.
Yes,
It
exactly.
looks like I just got back from Dirty Nelly's and I fell in the river with St.
Well, you always look that way.
Yeah. I thought we're going to bring Henry and Stately in. I thought they were the Ahmed Fareed glasses, Henry, where you don't really need them. They're just clear. He just wants to look cool, right?
You know what, Papa? I was too vain to put them on. You know, everybody, I needed glasses for like the last 4 or 5 years. I was too vain to put them on. I put them on. I have everybody telling me they like them. Now I'm too vain to take them off.
I'm the same way. I need glasses, so can I borrow yours again?
Absolutely.
I'm going to take them out. Here we go. All right, let's see if I can see. Oh, wow. All right, back to you guys.
Pop, don't wear those glasses near the river. You might fall in, man. You're going to get dizzy, believe me. All right, let's take a look at the San Antonio Spurs starting lineup. Tony Parker, Danny Green in the backcourt. Your wings, Kawhi Leonard and LaMarcus Aldridge. And then once again, David West in the paint. Tim Duncan and Boris Diaw will not play. Let's hear from the coach, Greg Popovich.
Well, you can't make mistakes against you guys. It's the best team on the planet. And if you lose your concentration defensively, or you shoot ill-advised shots or don't move the ball, give it back to them quickly, you're in big trouble. In the first half, that's what we did. We started out great, and all of a sudden, at the offensive end, ball didn't move, didn't change sides, quick shots, contested shots, along with 6 turnovers, and they jumped on it, and that was the game.
Your effort to control Curry and Thompson, you know, it's just how difficult it is to deal with everybody else as well.
Well, it's always difficult. I mean, those are, 2 great players, and they involve their teammates. It's an unselfish team. And Barnes had a great game tonight to go along with it. Vermont was great. So, it was a team effort. They were wonderful. It's fun to watch.
Greg Popovich, he's done a wonderful job with the San Antonio Spurs. They actually have the longest active home winning streak right now. Now, the longest winning streak at home in NBA history was set by the Golden State Warriors this year. 54 consecutive games they won at Oracle Arena. San Antonio Spurs, they're 39-0 at home this season. They're second on that list with 48 consecutive wins at home. First of all, let's talk about that home winning streak. It's on the line tonight. Do you think it matters to Greg Popovich? Because here's a guy who's been known to rest his players, and he really doesn't care who he's playing against or when he's going to rest them.
Yeah, you know what, Henry? They've flown under the radar all year long. The microscope was on the Warriors. What a season they've had. But you're right on about Pop. He's his own guy. He's going to make his decisions. He's got the respect of the ownership, and his players respect him. And he's saying it just like Steve. The number 2 priorities for him are the health of his team and to be ready for the playoffs and really ready to rock and roll when that comes up starting next weekend. So with that said, they'll give it their best shot tonight. But I find it interesting that Diaw's not playing because he's going to be a very, very important piece in the playoffs, as Sean Elliott and Kalena and Pop just talked about.
One guy who is going to play is Kawhi Leonard. He can play on both ends of the court. Fantastic defender, fantastic scorer. And, Coach, he's really proven that he can shoot the ball from three-point range. Is there anything this man can't do?
Well, I'll tell you what. I always look to see what star players or potential star players do in the offseason, how they improve their game. That's when you really grow. He's gone to work on his offensive game. You know he can get out out on the wing. He can put it down pretty good. But Henry, now he's knocking down the 3-ball. He's got a mid-range game. Those hands are huge, maybe as big as there is in the entire league. He's one of the premier defenders. Pop is now giving him the mantle. He's the #1 piece on this team. He creates space for him in one-on-one face-ups from about 18 feet and in, and he's very, very intelligent in the half-court game. You just have to have a wealth of respect for this player.
Kawhi Leonard is the total package. I love watching him and Klay Thompson play against each other. You're talking about great basketball when those guys are facing off. When we come back, more on that special team. Remember Michael Jordan, Dennis Rodman, Steve Kerr, Scottie Pippen, the head coach Phil Jackson, coach. The list goes on and on and on. Will they be the best team in the regular season when this season is over? There is Steph Curry. Through the legs, no problem. Ooh. Behind the back, let it fly. That's the way Coach used to do it back in the day.
No.
Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live, brought to you by Metro PCS. There's the other half of the Splash Brother. Yes, it is Klay Thompson, 6.5 minutes. Coach, you like that? The flick of the wrist.
Watch the follow through with that right wrist. Yeah. Absolutely gorgeous.
I tried to measure that and master it. I never could do it. We got a score alert, Coach. Rockets in the 9th spot, hosting Kobe and the Lakers. Kobe about to call it a career. Second quarter, Houston by 4. James Harden, the steal. Coach, he'll take it all the way to the backboard, lay it off into the hoop. And then in the fourth quarter, Harden, no look past to Corey Brewer, Coach. You like that?
Yeah, and Harden had 40 points tonight, and Kobe had 34, and a big performance for him.
Harden did a little bit of everything. He also had
don't be doing what Steph
assists.
does. Giving the shake right there,
A little shimmy there. Is that okay?
Come on, man.
All right, Jazz hold a half-game lead over Houston for the 8th and final playoff spot. In Mile High City, first quarter, Rudy Gobert grabs the board and
he doesn't have to jump to dunk, Henry.
His arms are long, probably the longest set of arms in the league. And there's Emmanuel Mudiay threading the pass to Darrell Arthur. Second quarter, Mudiay from three-point range. Right now, Utah is up huge. 82-64. That game is in the final quarter. So Utah is looking pretty sharp right now. As we speak, only a half game separates them from Houston. But if they go on to win, then they will be a full game ahead of the Houston Rockets. There could also be some movement between the 6th and 7th spot. There's a lot going on, Coach. Is there any team that the Warriors would prefer to face more than the others?
No, I really don't think so. The one who's most banged up is Memphis, and they're probably going to lose their 3 remaining games, one versus the Warriors on Wednesday. But we're going to have to look at the tiebreakers. This is how tight this is going to be over the next 3 days. It looks like Portland has solidified 5, but Memphis is falling. Then you have Utah. This is a big win for them, and they've got a couple wins we think they can win. But then you got the 2 Texas teams. So we're going to see who's going to fall out of this thing. I think Utah can hang in there. So I don't know. It's going to be really interesting.
Keep in mind, Memphis' final game of the season is against the Golden State Warriors, and that's going to be on Wednesday night. Starting lineup is brought to you by Honda. Splash Brothers in the backcourt. Curry and Thompson. Harrison Barnes, who's been red hot, will start at the small forward spot. Draymond Green, he is ready to get to work. And Andrew Bogut is back. The healthy Warriors, Coach. The healthy Warriors are trying to tie the Bulls' record tonight. Do you think they'll get the job done? This is not going to be easy, trying to win somewhere where they haven't won a game in the regular season since 1997.
It's a tough task. You've got to play a really strong defense, and it's great to have Bogues and Festus back to deal with David West and LaMarcus Aldridge. And the rest of your guys have to be sharp defensively. And then on the offensive end, like any game on the road, that's a big game, limiting turnovers. You're getting a look at the great Chicago team. And I had the privilege of contributing to a couple of those wins. And I have to share with you, that guy there with the ball, there weren't a lot of answers. So, you know, to be in this stratosphere, that you're being measured against this Bulls team is a tremendous accomplishment by the Warriors. They're going to give it their best go tonight. I think they might get one, Henry.
Of course, Scottie Pippen said that team was so good, they would sweep the Warriors?
Yeah, sweep this.
We are hoping you're ready for basketball. Get ready. Spurs and Warriors next.
The final regular season road game in a building that has been a haunted house for the Warriors, taking on the Spurs for the final time in the regular season with history in the air. Do the Warriors get to 72? Did they finish with the most road wins in NBA history? We're going to find out in 48 minutes if the Warriors join the Bulls forever tonight. Hello, everybody. Bob Fitzgerald alongside Jim Barnett. And this building has been awful for the Warriors. 33 straight losses right here. But a chance for history. We've talked about it for weeks. It's here right now.
Well, the players will like it to come to fruition. We'd like it to come to fruition. But I think just as important, perhaps more important, stop the streak. Get a win here today. It'd make a statement, especially if you meet this team in the Western Conference Finals.
You know about the Warriors with the best backcourt in the NBA in Steph and Clay. But right now, their forwards are playing great basketball. And it was no coincidence that Draymond Green and Harrison Barnes kicked in last night.
They took over the last 4 minutes of the game at both ends of the floor. I thought Draymond was terrific attacking the rim. Defensively, he just got better and better. And Harrison Barnes has been playing well lately. We can see all those stats. So long they've relied on Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson to bail him out. You're going to need more scoring punch. He's coming along just at the right time heading into the playoffs.
You know, a bit of a surprise in the NBA. The most difficult place to play is not Oracle anymore. It's right here in San Antonio. When you get the Spurs in this building, they win by nearly 15. They lock you up defensively, and they're perfect at home.
Yes, their defense is the best in the league here at home for them, and that's how they win. Yeah, the offense comes around for them, but they make their mark at the defensive end. They smother you, make it very, very difficult to even get across half court.
The fourth and final meeting between the two best teams in the sport. So many storylines, so many matchups, so many stars on the court, and then the sideline mentor relationship with Popovich and Kerr. Do the Warriors get to 72? We'll find out. Spurs and Warriors. Henry and Saint back in the studio right after this.
Welcome back to Warriors Pregame Live, brought to you by Metro PCS. The Warriors going for their 72nd win of the season, but they got to get it in San Antonio, a place they haven't won since 1997. Give me your key to the game, Coach.
Well, Draymond and Harrison are playing beautiful basketball. The whole San Antonio defensive game plan is focused on Klay and Steph. They're going to be the key tonight. They're going to try to run them off the three-point line. They've got to create space for themselves, put it on the deck and finish. That's the whole key.
Splash Brothers were 5 for 24 from three-point range yesterday. They'll try to get back on track. We'll see you at the half.
In San Antonio, back end of a back-to-back final regular season road game. And the fourth and final meeting against the Spurs with a chance for history as the Warriors seek their 72nd win. Our Xfinity starting lineups with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Harrison Barnes, Draymond Green, and Andrew Bogut. Tony Parker, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, LaMarcus Aldridge, and David West. Leandro Barbosa will not play for the Warriors. Tim Duncan being rested for the Spurs. Warriors control the opening tap. Monty McCutcheon, Brent Barnaky, Sean Corbin will blow the whistles tonight. Kawhi Leonard opens on Draymond Green. Draymond, little runner. It's a lob, and Bogut tried to tap it in. Draymond's got LaMarcus Aldridge and Harrison Barnes on Kawhi Leonard. Klay Thompson chasing around Tony Parker. Kawhi Leonard going to finish second in the MVP balloting. His explosion offensively to go with the Defensive Player of the Year award last year, Jim. He's one of the best two-way players in the league.
And he shoots the three-point field goal percentage at 45, second best in the league. He's extremely right-handed, and Harrison has to take that away.
Harrison Barnes has been hot the last 10 games, missing the three there. Spurs ran with the Warriors in the first meeting and lost. Locked up the Warriors in a low-scoring game in the second and won. Lost Thursday night at Oracle as the Warriors controlled tempo. And Leonard, pump fake, field goal, and the foul.
I thought the Warriors might learn from the game at home on April the 7th, which they won, to not go for that pump fake. He loves to get in the middle of the lane, right at the hash mark, and pump fake.
Our roundtable key ingredients of the game, Jimmy, what do you got?
How about end the streak, the 33 streak of losing here, and make history in the process? They've got to play aggressive basketball, but with poise. And that means limit those turnovers, because San Antonio defensively here, we've talked about that, how dominant they are, and they make you pay for your mistakes.
Curry created a little space and hits the jumper. Very physical with Tony Parker there.
Not many people go behind the back like that when Leonard is coming for a steal, and he just dupes him and gets the free shot.
Shot clock at 5. Parker, that high screen roll went the other way. LaMarcus Aldridge from the baseline, and Bogut the rebound. The last time down here, the Warriors did not have Bogut or Ezeli, and Aldridge had a field day. Curry rattling out the three.
And they didn't have Iguodala. And the Warriors shot 38%, and the Splash Brothers went 2 of 19 from 3. Only combined for 29 points. And Aldridge had a field day, like you say.
Steph Curry with the foul.
They didn't call it on the reach, they called it on the bump, which I think surprised Stephen and possibly his coach Steve Kerr.
Warriors won by 1 last night in Memphis. San Antonio lost to the Warriors, lost to Denver, and definitely doesn't want to lose 3 in a row. Draymond knocking that out of bounds. Still Spurs ball with 6 to shoot.
I think this is going to be the matchup. There was another switch from Draymond Green onto Leonard, so now it's back to Harrison Barnes. Danny Green trying to get the ball here, defended by Klay.
Aldridge can't move Bogut, but shoots the fadeaway.
Well, if you can relegate him to mid-range jump shots 15 feet and longer, you've done your job. He scored a bundle in the paint last time.
Klay Thompson finding Steph, and a better look. Those are the shots for Harrison Barnes. And those are the ones the Warriors will need him to knock down, and he's been doing it the last 10.
With regularity. That one wasn't even close, and he had all the time in the world.
Kawhi Leonard corner 3, and Aldridge the long rebound.
He'll take that one.
But Bogut still has Aldridge about 5 feet further out than he'd like to be.
No, he's doing his job there. Pass, cut, keep the middle open, cut to score.
Steph down the lane, wanted to pass it to Bogut, and threw it away. Couldn't wrap it around enough.
Yeah, and with that much dribbling going, his players at that time did not know what he was going to do. They didn't know how the finish was going to develop.
ISO Kawhi Leonard. Always comes middle. Lost it to Aldridge. Danny Green, corner 3. Another long rebound to the Spurs.
They've been owning the offensive glass here. You can see the offense runs through Kawhi Leonard.
Leonard missing again.
It does not run through Tony Parker any longer.
Warriors have opened 1 of 5. Draymond, and he will take the contact and get to the line. want to welcome those of you who've been watching the Giants and the Dodgers. Giants winning 3 out of 4 from L.A. Bob Fitzgerald, Jim Barnett, Roz Gold on Wood-A with you in San Antonio. Welcome all of you watching nationally on NBA TV. And the Spurs off to a decent start, bottling up the Warriors. Warriors playing last night and traveling, getting in about 2:30 in the morning. San Antonio resting here after losing to the Warriors in Denver. And Draymond Green knocking down a couple free throws.
Spurs have many more shot attempts in this early going because of the offensive rebounding. Long rebounds have yielded second chance efforts.
Danny Green on the post up. Curry's got Aldridge on a switch. And Bogut came to help. Parker with the shot clock at 2. Green will beat it, miss everything. That's a 24-second violation. It was an air ball. The Warrior defense in the early going has been pretty solid.
Well, they took away a possible layup from Danny Green. He made a cut. He had an open shot, but then the defense converged. He had to pass it out.
So the Warriors have started 1 of 5. They're in trouble offensively. Well, they're limiting the Spurs to 3 of 10 shooting.
It's as loud as I've ever heard it here in San Antonio.
Draymond taking it inside and rimming it home.
He just bangs right into you and still has control enough to get a good shot attempt. And then he knows he can chase it down, much like hockey. He doesn't mind just throwing it up there because he's going to be the first one to the ball.
Parker missing strong.
Warriors trying to get their rhythm here.
David West on the overplay. And David West will get the freebie.
That's the carelessness we've talked about. It always burns you, and especially here in San Antonio.
Danny Green deflecting that out of bounds.
They made a switch there. Didn't allow Stephen Curry to get open. And
it's a good way to play defense. What you do is you just hold the MVP and pull him, and then that way you get a steal.
That's an old trick that's always been around. You pull him one way, you go the other.
Shot clock at 3. Draymond's got to create. Got to the rim and laid it in.
How about that? Your power forward beats the 2 guard off the dribble to the basket. He was overplaying. He was taking away his left hand, let him go to the right, and no help came.
So the field goal and the foul for Draymond Green. And early on, Draymond was 6 of the Warriors' 8.
Well, David West, starting for Duncan today, is not a shot blocker. LaMarcus Aldridge prefers the perimeter as well.
Green cutting. Interior passing. Klay Thompson recovered with a steal.
That's the switch that they had, and then it was a beautiful strip.
Curry in the lane, little mid-range, and Stephen offline. Greg Popovich going to use a timeout. Midway through the first, neither team with any offensive rhythm, but remember, 2 of the top defensive teams in the NBA.
This is Harrison Barnes, and you're watching CSN, the authentic home of the champs.
Welcome back to San Antonio. Warriors trail the Spurs by 1. The Warriors have a chance to tie the 95-96 Bulls 72 wins tonight, and Coach Kerr said no one has been more outspoken about this record than Draymond Green. In fact, he thinks that Draymond Green wants this record more than anyone else on the team. And I asked Draymond if that was true, and he said absolutely, 100%. I love basketball, and when I'm done with the game, I want people to remember me as a winner, and to have the all-time wins record speaks for itself. So, guys, as awesome as reaching this record could be, is their legacy only cemented if a championship is also won as well?
Well, you could ask the New England Patriots that went 16-0 and didn't win the Super Bowl. Or you could ask the Seattle Mariners that won 116 games and didn't win a World Series. And in hockey, Jim, I have no idea who has the most wins of all time.
Not at all. I do know that Stephen Curry just picked up his second foul, and that's not good.
So to me, I would say people remember championship teams, and the 72-10 Bulls obviously won the title.
That's the objective.
Aldridge missing long, and Bogut another rebound.
Aldridge 1 of 4 so far.
Iguodala, the first Warriors sub, tag it in for Harrison Barnes. You're going to see Brandon Rush instead of Barbosa in that guard rotation, with Leandro resting today.
San Antonio's doing something we rarely see. David West is out on Andrew Bogut. Not worried about him shooting from the perimeter. That's not going to happen. But he's taking away the passing lanes. He's harassing Andrew Bogut so that he can't feed it inside, because the Warriors get a lot of baskets on backdoor cuts from their guards.
Bogut is the hub as the passer. It's a great observation. And Patty Mills is stalking Steph Curry, who rails a three and continues the NBA record now, 151 straight games with a three made for Steph Curry.
That looked more like Steph in game number 1 when the Warriors won by 30. He had 37 that game at Oracle Arena. He was free for his threes.
West can hit that elbow shot. Kawhi Leonard couldn't finish, and Ginobili is fouled on the pass out. The problem with committing all these team fouls is the Spurs are the best free-throwing team in the NBA.
Well, the Warriors are making shots difficult, the first one. But they're getting so many more attempts, the Spurs are, because of offensive rebounds.
That'll be the 4th Warrior team foul. Next whistle, free throws the rest of the quarter.
And the Spurs are 4 of 16.
There's the Mills, nice cut.
Well, they switched and they got a big on him. And he couldn't stay up. That was Draymond. That's a tough little matchup when you get that switch. These two teams play identical systems. Very similar.
Very mirror image. Warriors have a lot of Popovich and a lot of Phil Jackson. Klay Thompson couldn't follow in his own miss. Aldridge has not had success moving Bogut.
Yeah, they don't need to give help there. Stay with your man.
That's how he went to the left.
That's all right. He's managed it so far. But I would not bring a secondary defender in and leave three-point shooters.
Kawhi Leonard riding Curry down the lane to lay it in or out, but then draw the foul. You can see the mission to play Curry is to bang him around as much as possible. And Kawhi Leonard, the claw, is as good a defender as there is in the NBA.
Well, he just took away his right hand, but he gave Stephen Curry the left. And Stephen can finish either way. That time he opted to go with the right hand rather than shoot it left-handed. But he did the right thing. He took the challenge, and he said, okay, I'm not going to force the issue out here. I'm not going to waste time. I'm going to make a move to the hoop.
Remember, tonight's game and all Warrior games on CSN are streamed live via the NBC Sports Live Extra app on your mobile phone or tablet. Now available on Apple TV and Roku. Stream the Warriors on the go. Neither team has been on the go here, with the Spurs 6 of 18 and the Warriors 4 of 10. But even at 13 in a score that the Spurs would prefer.
I like that move, though, because he tipped what the defense gave him. He didn't try to dance around with the ball and look for a three.
Patty Mills springing free. Festus Ezeli's first playing time.
Drag screen.
Mills knocked it away. Still be Warrior ball. And here comes Harrison Barnes and Sean Livingston into the ball game.
The Warriors will sometimes give two screens up top for Curry. So the defender has to fight through two. If they switch, then they still have another screen coming.
And this is how you know it's a back-to-back. Steph normally plays the whole first quarter. And Draymond the same. And yet they're being subbed out inside of 4 minutes here.
And back-to-back this late in the season are even tougher. No excuse, and they don't want an excuse.
Warriors had no team meeting, no shoot-around today after the late arrival.
I'd like to see Livingston get his offense going early in this game.
He shoots right over Mills.
He was good last
time. They could go to Ezeli. Tried to save. Ginobili, good hands.
I like the way Sean attacked initially.
Kyle Anderson, second-year player out of UCLA. Playing alongside Danny Green. Ezeli, look what I found. We're posting up Mills. This time it's Harrison Barnes.
It's tough to beat this team in half-court offense.
Harrison going to shoot right over him, but misfire there. Festus activity inside to put it up and out. It is not for the faint of heart inside.
The Warriors are sooner or later going to have to get into the open court. And that means initially they've got to play defense, get stops.
Points at a premium with both teams shooting 30%. And Steve Kerr going to stop it here. 2:47 remaining in the first. This is a bare knuckers brawl type of NBA game. Pretty ball movement with San Antonio up a deuce. Spurs lead at 2 with 2:47 remaining in the first. Steph Curry made the adjustment in meeting 3 with the Warriors and Spurs. Didn't settle for threes and hit a bunch of singles, as Steve Kerr likes to say. A lot of twos. Driving as they were attacking him outside at the three-point line. And our Geico Advanced Analytics, in terms of paint shooting percentage, Stephen Curry is 7th. But look at the size of the guys in the top 6. And he finally gets to the diminutive one at 7.
Very impressive. And you say, well, gee, in the paint, those are shorter shots, easier. How come it's not a bigger percentage? Because there are a lot of big people inside, and sometimes you're double, you're triple teamed, and you got to fight through and find a little daylight. And he does it extremely well.
More than 100 more points in the paint for Steph this season. That's a career best.
That's a remarkable stat when you compare with all the people who are 6'10 and above.
Klay Thompson, tough jumper, and tipped up and out by Ezeli. Festus has been very active. Hasn't been able to put one home, but he's on the glass. He lost the handle. Diving on the deck. Livingston and Klay Thompson, and Manu got it. Aldridge about 6 different fakes, and not only 3 in the key, about 9 in the key. And the Spurs turn it over.
Well, the only one that went to the floor, and he was already down there, was Ginobili, and then Barnes over the top. But Klay Thompson tried to pick it up. And Ginobili grabbed it back, made a great play.
The Warriors are down 2, and they're shooting 27%. These are the 2 best shooting teams in the NBA, but they're also 2 of the top defensive teams in the league. The defense is beating offense, and Klay Thompson missing a layup. That's where you want Aldridge to live. He may make that, but the percentages on fadeaway 18-footers are much better than him on the block.
He makes that shot right there, and that's what you call earning it. Because that was terrific defense. Can't do any better unless you block it. There's a back door. Can Klay get something easy? No.
Ginobili.
From Ginobili.
Knocking it out of bounds.
This is a stifling defense.
And Klay felt he was tripped as he went through the lane.
And this is why
you don't see him react very often.
Well, he just collided. There's no foul there.
I agree.
Just got feet hung up a little bit. Little jump hook.
Festus saw the shot clock. Misfiring there. Aldridge, nice look inside. Kyle Anderson, the beneficiary.
Well, Aldridge has it going now. He was one of his first 4 shots, but now he's not only scoring himself, but he's dishing when they try to double team and give a little help.
Livingston had Festus inside. He was being grabbed by Anderson.
Well, it's
That'll be free throws.
No coincidence. The last time the Warriors played here, March 19th, they shot just under 38%, and they had 3 quarters, Bob, where they did not manage to get 20 points. 18, 19, 14 in quarter 4. The defense is extremely tough for San Antonio on their home court.
We said best in the league in this building, undefeated. And they also do it, Jim. They commit the fewest fouls in the NBA.
Yeah, they're number 1 in scoring defense. And they're number 1 in points per game difference, plus 11.
And in the meeting down here previous, it was 18-17 at the end of the first quarter. That favored the Warriors. Ezeli, 1 of 2 from the line. Mills throwing it away and somehow got through to Green. And he throws it away. Warriors defense has been excellent in their own right.
Oh, too hard. Just too hard. I like what his idea was right. They were going to try to trade 2 for 1. And Shaun Livingston usually holds that up, but they were trying to go 2 for 1. Just a little too excited, and that was 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
The last Warrior field goal was at the 5:22 mark. And they're fortunate to be down only 5 points. If they weren't playing good defense in their own right, San Antonio would have a much larger advantage. When's the last time you saw the Warriors go 4 of 18 in a quarter?
Probably last time they were here.
You take 38%. They're shooting 22% right now. 3-second game shot clock difference. They feed Aldridge on Draymond Green. Draymond stayed down. Aldridge has had the radar, but missing there. Iguodala will track it down. 3 seconds to work with. Brandon Rush just into the game. A running three's an air ball. So San Antonio limits the Warriors to 3 points in the last 5 minutes of the quarter. And a 5-point Spurs lead after the first 12 minutes. The Spurs defense is good as advertised. So the early rest for Steph Curry allows him to start the second quarter. He doesn't normally do that. The Warriors 4 of 19, lowest scoring first quarter of the season, shooting 21%, and they were 0 for their last 9 the last 5 minutes of the first. Kawhi Leonard. Draymond comes to help. He had to give it up. And Anderson nearly dropped it. Shot clock at 4. Down to 2. Anderson just heaves it up there, but Patty Mills bats it out. Ginobili hitting a 3. Any mistake against the Spurs will cost you.
Well, they've got 8 second chance points already. And that's the difference. The Warriors have to get stops. And we're saying a lot. There's a nice little back door. When you don't see the ball, and Patty Mills got caught there, they can make a pass right by your ear. But the Warriors have to get stops because they've got to get into the open court and get out of this half-court offense, which has been smothering them.
So Patty Mills, Kawhi Leonard, David West, Manu Ginobili, and Kyle Anderson. Patty Mills from deep. San Antonio, 2 threes to begin this second. Iguodala, nice find to Draymond, had it knocked away. Still loose, and then the foul, and we check in with Roz.
Coach Kerr set the expectations for the style of play in this game. He said, guys, this is going to be the kind of game that's going to be physical, so we have to play through it.
Well, every rebound battle has been a scrum. And as Jim mentioned, San Antonio 8-0 in second chance points, and there are plenty of misses both ways. The Warriors have missed 15 shots. The Spurs have missed 15 shots. Brandon Rush missing the corner 3.
And they're going to have to find secondary scorers tonight. You're going to get open
Harrison
shots.
haven't scored.
Yeah. Harrison's going to get open shots. Brandon Rush will get open shots. Iguodala will get open shots. Sean Livingston, not as often because he'll have the ball in his hands. Sean generates his shots off the dribble. Not really looking for catch and shoots.
And to your point about transition, 0 fast break points for the Warriors right now.
Yeah, I said that they've got to get into there and away from the half-court offense because their half-court defense for San Antonio is best in the league.
West missing. Steph comes out of the pack. Tried to lead Livingston, ends up being a turnover.
When you get frustrated, sometimes you try to hit the home run. That was a home run pass. Very, very slim chance of getting there.
Leonard, clever ball handling. Great play by Livingston, saved a layup.
Yes, it was.
Knocking that out of bounds. But you get an idea for Kawhi. Not only was he looking to score, but then a nice delivery. I mean, his game has just blossomed offensively this year.
And they trust him with the ball in his hands and to create the offense and run the system.
And his shooting has been exemplary, but misfiring there.
Steph likes this one-on-one here. And they look at, oh boy.
Patty Mills took one of the chops, and Livingston gets a dunk.
Well, Ross just talked about being physical, as Steve Kerr mentioned.
Well, San Antonio's going to use a timeout, and Popovich incensed. He and Steve Kerr having a laugh back and forth.
Well, Steph Curry's trying to beat Patty Mills, and he sees, and there is a collision there. He sees resistance coming, tries to put on the brakes.
Spurs lead at 7 with 9:26 remaining in the first half. Our Shamrock Office Solutions play of the week. Coming from 10 down, Draymond Green with the tip in Memphis last night. Our Shamrock Office Solutions play of the week. Perfect timing at a big time in the fourth. And tapped it outside the cylinder. In a basket the Warriors absolutely needed in a one-point victory. So the screens so far, Jim. Brandon Rush rocking Patty Mills. It was David West rocking Sean Livingston. Every battle for every rebound. These teams are playing like the past two NBA champions and the two best teams in the NBA.
Well, right now, San Antonio is playing with the best bench in this game. They've already contributed 12. Ginobili with 5, Mills with 5, and Anderson with 2. Warriors have only accumulated 3 among their subs. They've got to play better. They've got to score better. They have to defend better.
Kevin Martin, what about a layup? Couldn't collect that pass. Kevin Martin and Andre Miller acquired at the deadline. More veterans for this incredibly experienced Spurs squad.
Kevin Martin getting used to the system. He usually does what Curry does here.
Steph Curry off back iron.
So he's learning to go back door too, because he had a layup last time. Just ball went off his hands.
If you're wondering, this is the opponent Steph shoots the worst against. Livingston, a beautiful block.
What a save. What a beautiful recovery.
This is also the worst building for Curry in terms of shooting in his career. Now these are the grabs and the hand checks that aren't always called against Stephen Curry. Now you've got Monty McCutcheon, who's elite among all crew chiefs. But the Spurs' move is to grab and impede Curry with and without the ball. That is a definitive game plan. They're good at it. Mo Spates first playing time. Shot clock at 2. Steph didn't have time to pass that.
I don't think anybody was aware of the shot clock that time, which is very unusual.
Kevin Martin curling one out. Kawhi Leonard, another offensive rebound, and then he is fouled. Two team fouls apiece, but the rebounding issue's been a problem. 22-14 favoring San Antonio, but +8 in second chance points. And if you're Steve Kerr, you're saying you're holding the Spurs to 37% shooting. That's tremendous Warrior defense, except you're being locked up at 26%. I mean, the Warrior offense is MIA.
And you yield more chances. I wouldn't mind shooting 28% if I had 40 more shots at the end of the game.
Leonard splitting the defense.
Transition defense is superb for San Antonio today. Warriors just not getting any looks. Of course, they're not getting many stops, but they don't rebound.
Mo Spates on Danny Green, and you would love a Mo Buckets game. Someone off the bench to kick in.
He can allow just about one dribble before he gets collapsing defense to double or triple teaming. It's a good play to get it off.
See, Kawhi Leonard always goes with the pump fake first. Kevin Martin brimming that out. Mo Spates contested Martin at the three-point line and then hustled back for the rebound. Now that is a second effort play by Mo Spates that the coaches are going to love.
Well, he's been playing much better defense second half of the year because he knows to get minutes, he's got to play defense. He's been very valuable.
He's out there on Martin, and then he's the one that gets back for the rebound. Curry from the baseline misfiring.
Great communication there, Leonard to Parker. So they just switched off on Curry, never got any daylight.
David West, and Mo says no. Leonard, bodies laying in the lane, and Draymond Green, the man on the ground, is going to be called for the foul.
Uh-oh, watch it here.
And now a technical foul.
What Draymond said, how can you call that on me on the ground? But for Monty McCutcheon, he thought he was too demonstrative. That's the judgment.
You can read Draymond's lips saying, I was on the ground. I must have got him on the ankle.
Stephen Curry tried to hold him back, but he was unable to.
So you saw the battle. Draymond was holding his ankle.
Well, I think he's just trying to protect himself. I mean, he didn't want to get stepped on.
And Kawhi had the arm lock and got the rebound. If these teams meet for 7 games, you're going to see some unbelievable basketball.
Now what, to get a technical and get your money's worth, knowing it's going to be physical, what Draymond should have planned ahead is to have a football helmet over on the Warriors bench. And then you just run down there and you put the helmet back on, and then you run onto the floor without saying a word and see what kind of reaction that would get.
Kawhi Leonard, my MVP ballot. Curry 1, Kawhi Leonard 2. I think he has had an incredible season. Vast improvement offensively. He and Draymond are the 2 best defensive players in the league. And Kawhi Leonard, 8 rebounds, 2 assists, and 7 points already tonight. But they get Klay Thompson going. He has yet to have a point. He finds Brandon Rush wide open. And those are the shots you have to make if you're going to beat the Spurs.
Well, they're in the game, and they know they're in the game. They just keep saying, how do we get out of the mud at the offensive end? They need to get a flow going. They haven't had any kind of rhythm.
Parker missing, and Brandon Rush high for that rebound. Brandon 3. That's a big play.
See, he's going to be open. As I said, Harrison Barnes is going to be open. Brandon Rush, you've got to get that in your mindset and be ready to catch and shoot.
And it wasn't fast break, but it was still early offense. He got the rebound. He got it out to Steph. San Antonio was not set defensively, and they got an open 3.
All Curry has to do to free somebody else is just make one move, one dribble, or 2 at the most, and somebody's going to cheat from the weak side.
Oh, the quickness of Parker.
Well, the Warrior guards have to do a better job keeping someone in front.
And Klay Thompson's on the board. He hits a three. So you mentioned 2 of 19 the last time Steph and Klay were here. They're 2 of 4 on threes tonight.
Being a little more judicious in three-point selection as well.
Danny Green from distance. Klay on Kawhi, fading left. Parker hand-checked as he began the drive. 4:49 remaining in the first half. An absolute battle defensively. Every basket being contested. Both teams shooting at 30% in a three-point game. San Antonio, Texas with the Spurs up 3. San Antonio's been limited to only 1 field goal the last 6 minutes, but our McDonald's true story, talk about a home court winning streaks. The Warriors finally having their snap by Boston at 54. The Spurs perfect this season and active at 48 straight wins in a row.
So if they win tonight, and I believe the next game's OKC.
Correct.
That'll be 41-0 and 50 straight, and they'll start a new one, or continue it, I should say, in a new season.
NBA history, Boston 40-1, the best home mark in a season. Leonard, triple threat, jab, step, and jumper.
I think he surmised that Andre got a little lower than usual. So he was down there with the crouch, and he said, I think I can just rise and shoot before he reacts. And that's what transpired.
Harrison Barnes just walks Tony Parker to the rim. Great identification and great execution.
Yes, and one of the few times we haven't seen someone give help from the weak side in a San Antonio jersey.
Livingston Iguodala with Bogut, Klay, and Barnes.
We know, we've seen the Warriors. We know they can shoot better. We know they can defend better. And rebound better is the real key.
Ginobili inside.
Because if they get out and run, they'll score.
Manu knocked it away. Mills missed the three. I don't know if the Warriors can defend better.
I meant defend better from rebounding position.
No, you're absolutely
That's what
right.
I understand that. There's terrific defense today.
Harrison Barnes missing that three.
I mean, here they are with this myopic shooting, and they're down 3.
And now both teams are shooting exactly 32% for the game. Rebounding has been the difference for San Antonio. But the guys in white are very active. These long rebounds, every one of them becomes critical.
They're making more concerted effort now to bring back in all the white jerseys. Make sure they get the ball. They're not getting breaks anyway.
Klay is doubled. Klay can shoot over Mills if he wants. And he does just that.
That's exactly what he wanted to do. He faced up on him, took him off the dribble, and got to a sweet spot right inside the lane.
Look at the Warriors' identification. Barnes on Mills and Parker. Barnes and then even Harris on a Mills or Parker. Find the 2 pint-sized guys and post up and go with them. Leonard misfiring. The last 2 times they've picked on Mills and Parker. Livingston in the open court, the turnaround, and just couldn't finish. They've left some layups on the rim. Ginobili is fouled.
You've got to be extra careful when Ginobili has the ball because he's just always looking to draw fouls in different manners.
Find the little guards and shoot over them because points are at a premium tonight. Spurs lead at 1, and much is made of the Warriors' struggles in San Antonio. But part of our AT&T U-verse rewind, don't forget, the Warriors did win in the San Antonio building, but it was in the playoffs in 2013, where Klay Thompson had 34, that incredible first half. That made the series 1-1, but the Coors Light Cold Hard Facts, Regular season, it is the second longest in NBA history, and it is still active in terms of losing streaks versus one opponent.
The great Laker teams all through the 80s. 5 championships. The Blazers, they were really good that decade.
Well, you think about it now, the Warriors are limiting San Antonio to 31% shooting. The Warriors at 33% shooting. Points off turnovers are even at 2 apiece. The difference in the game is 9-0 in second chance points favoring the Spurs. The Warriors continue this defense and come alive at all offensively, and they're going to be all right.
Well, that's what they're working for. Just a little change of the scenery there. They've done a better job rebounding the ball in this quarter at the defensive end.
And the guile of Ginobili was on display. With the Warriors over the limit, Manu wasn't doing anything other than trying to lure someone into a foul. And he's really good at it. We mentioned the Spurs, the best free-throwing team in the NBA. So all the pump fakes, every time they show you the ball, they've got to be disciplined against San Antonio more than any other team.
Well, you have to give Ginobili a little room and yet still be aware that he likes to shoot threes from a standstill position.
So Manu was 7 off the bench. Klay Thompson spilled off the ball. Harrison Barnes. This is a continuing problem for Harrison. He has the ball at his waist when he beats people, and he gets it stripped a lot.
Well, we saw him beat smaller inside, okay? When he's got Aldridge on him, I'd like to see him actually at about 18 to 20 feet square up on him and give him a couple little jab steps and everything, and he'll get that jump shot. He can get his jump shot over Aldridge either on no dribble or one dribble.
Insult to injury. It's stripped, and then it's off of you. It becomes a turnover. Aldridge had Iguodala on the block, and only Draymond knocking it out of bounds saved the day.
Well, he pressured the passer, which is good. Don't let him just throw the ball wherever they want.
So Curry had rested. Now he's back in the final 2 minutes. Kawhi Leonard, well defended by Barnes.
Got a little bit of a break here. Early offense.
Draymond thought about that 3. Iguodala finding him again. Inside out, and the 3 made. That's what Draymond Green can do with threes. That's why Steve Kerr doesn't want the early 3. Work and get a better 3.
We got a new game here, and how about the patience of Draymond to give it up, and he got it back. That just leads to more selfless play.
Tony Parker off iron. Draymond Green will lose that rebound. He had inside position. He just couldn't collect it.
I mean, he goes up after, doesn't he? Yeah, he was held a little bit, so he couldn't put both hands on it cleanly. But that's no qualms there. You can't call a foul on that.
And Klay Thompson stole the inbound. He and Draymond combining on the steal. Curry, little push shot, banking it home, and the Warriors have the lead.
They have no idea he's going to stop and go for a bank shot there. They think he's going to drive all the way, or maybe set it back up. Not many people stop like that on a dime and then release. And 2 defenders are nearby.
So Steph's got 9, Kawhi Leonard's got 9, leading their squads. Leonard well defended again, and these rebounds are critical, and the Spurs are winning the 50-50 balls. Ginobili missing the 3. Danny Green, another rebound. Ginobili, a wild throw. Aldridge batting it home.
You get penetration there, you get help, then you don't block off the man, and that's what happens. That's a natural progression.
Warriors can't freeze out the quarter here. Spurs had a foul to give, and Parker just holding on to Iguodala.
I think Steve Kerr will be very happy going in at halftime.
Well, the first thing he's going to say is, guys, you're holding the Spurs to 29% shooting.
Of course.
They're the second best shooting team in the league, and you're doing it in their building. If they end up rebounding the ball, they're going to be in pretty good shape, because it's only the 11-0 second chance points advantage that have given the Spurs the ability to hang in this game. So I don't know what kind of boxing match you like, but these would be 2 fighters in the corner in the clinches, body punches, and not for the faint of heart.
This is just the way Draymond Green loves to play. Now the Warriors have to do a little bit better They have to get into the open court. Then they'll have a little free-flowing offense, and that's what's necessary to beat the Spurs.
Yeah, you even have some jerk-off fans trying to screw up a telecast. That's terrific right here in San Antonio. So tied at 35 with 26 seconds left in the half. And the two best defensive teams in the league have also, I think, answered the call. Is that when you have the two best records, two great home court situations, so many stars both ways, in a late game season, and it doesn't really mean anything, to be honest. The seeding is done. You got to love the competitiveness that these teams have battled in this first half.
There's a look.
Klay Thompson missed everything. Draymond tried to save, but it hit the baseline.
That's about the most clear look that Klay Thompson has had all evening.
So San Antonio led by 5 at the end of one, 19-14.
At number 9, Andre Iguodala.
We're tied at 35.
Number 12, Andrew Morgan.
1914, is that the last time that this close to half there's been a score in the NBA? 35, Hall.
Yeah, if you're just tuning in, this is not an NCAA tournament game. This is just phenomenal defense from two incredible teams. Patty Mills in, Ian Clark in. They don't want Klay Thompson to get his third foul, so he will sub out. Remember, also, Steph has 2, so Steve Kerr not going to risk either one of them picking up a third. Not in the final 16 seconds. Shot clock off as the Spurs play for 1. Kawhi with 4. Kawhi Leonard with 3. He will rise and misfire. And very appropriately, this is the lowest scoring half of the season for the Warriors. They hold San Antonio to 29% shooting. The Warriors shoot it at 35%, but the Spurs with the second chance points advantage. Contact. And a lot of competition. Even at 35, Henry Woodford, Gary St. Jude in the studio. The Warrior Halftime Live, presented by Jack in the Box, right after this.
Welcome to Warriors Halftime Live, brought to you by Jack in the Box. After 2 quarters, we have a tie in San Antonio, a low-scoring affair, 35 apiece. Spurs and Warriors. This is a battle between the top 2 teams in the NBA. I'm Henry Woodford, along with the coach, Gary St. Jean. Coach, tell us about the Warriors and their slow start. Are you surprised, and what's the issue right now?
If you're on the road and you defend like the Warriors did, really a solid job, and you don't turn the ball over, you think you're going to be in great shape. You think you're going to get in the open floor and finish, but the problem's been rebounding. They're getting killed on the offensive glass. That's the difference in the game. The pace of the game is perfect for the Spurs. That's going to be the key in the second half, Henry, if they can get this thing going up and down with stops and then get out there and go.
Warriors shot 35% from the field in the first half and just 14 points in the first quarter. That is a season low. Coach will give you the keys to the second half after the break. You want real inside analysis about the Warriors? You know exactly where to come. Right here to CSN Bay Area. Coach, give us keys to the second half of this game.
Well, the pace is going to be really important for the Warriors. How do you create pace? Defensive stops, control your defensive board, and then, as we said in the pregame, we need Steph and Klay to really get going. If they get going off the pace, then they're going to take care of this game. But you got a lot of respect for this team. They're a really tough opponent, and the Warriors are going to have to bring their A game.
This current tempo favors the Spurs big time, right? All right, when it's all said and done, you know exactly what to do. Stick with us. We're going to have live reports from San Antonio. We got our entire crew there, plus Coach and I will be right here in studio. We'll see you later.
Our Jack in the Box at the half in a defensive struggle in San Antonio. This has been fun basketball if you appreciate defense and the competitive level that the Warriors have exerted on the back end of a back-to-back, and the proud Spurs trying to stay undefeated at home. Every possession's been a battle.
It really comes down to that. And this is a team that has great defense here in San Antonio. But the Warriors have kind of turned the table. They've taken every punch that San Antonio has delivered, and they've answered that. Sure, it's a struggle, 35-all. We haven't decided anything. The difference in the game, offensive rebounds. The Spurs have 10 more offensive rebounds, and that has yielded, even though they're shooting 28%, 12 more field goal attempts. So I think Steve Kerr and the company has to be very well pleased with what's going on. They just need the game to open up for a little bit, and all of a sudden they can hit you with their flurry.
Yeah, which team finds any traction offensively? Because when you look at the team-wide shot chart, the KFC bucket chart brought to you by your hometown KFC, 13 of 37, while the Spurs are 14 of 49. So offense not coming easily at all. Everything contested. And as Jim mentioned, the rebounding, probably the most critical point in the game.
Well, as physical as it's been, we've only had 6 free throws attempted from the Spurs, 7 from the Warriors, and turnovers are pretty even. Points off turnovers favor the Warriors +2.
Warriors started to shoot it better in the second quarter. But even at 35 and at 11-0 second chance point advantage. Which team finds some offense? That's the team that's going to win this game. Do the Warriors get to 72, or do the Spurs stay perfect at home with the third quarter on the way? Even at 35 as we get ready to start the second half. San Antonio held to 29% shooting in their own building. But the Spurs, 11 second chance points off their tremendous offensive rebounding. For the Warriors, Steph Curry, the only player in double digits with 11, while Kawhi Leonard has 9 for the Spurs.
And the Spurs three-point shooting, they shoot at 38%. They were held 2 of 10. Warriors lead the league at nearly 42%. They're 4 of 12. Stephen Curry and Klay Thompson, 2 of 5. They're not forcing threes, and they're not looking for it. They're looking to find some kind of offense and get others involved.
The fourth and final meeting. Warriors already the 1 seed, the Spurs the number 2 seed. Will they meet eventually in the playoffs? It did not work out last year. But the compete level, the phrase that you hear coaches say, Greg Popovich and Steve Kerr has to be really pleased. Everybody that has played is playing really hard tonight. And LaMarcus Aldridge begins the scoring in the second half.
I'd like to see the Warriors try. I know they're trying to force one way so that you just go one direction. That's what they did with Tony there. But then it causes an early switch. And Tony Parker hit him with a little bounce pass and an easy shot from Aldridge.
David West fouling Bogut. It's Bogut, Draymond Green with Harrison Barnes, Klay Thompson, and Steph Curry. LaMarcus Aldridge with David West, Kawhi Leonard, Tony Parker, and Danny Green. No Tim Duncan and no Leandro Barbosa, both resting for their teams. Curry having it stolen by West.
So again, force the baseline. Bogut goes to help. And Harrison late on the switch to Aldridge. I'll tell you what, they made an adjustment. They're saying, don't try to go all the way. Just go one dribble. We'll get somebody leaning, and we'll get an open shot from the player up top.
And so Aldridge, first 2 buckets of the second half. Play's been followed up, and Kawhi Leonard taking it away. And Leonard missing that 3. It'll just go out of bounds. The Spurs 2 of 11 on threes. The Warriors 4 of 12.
And both those threes made by the Spurs came from bench players, Ginobili, Mills. The starters haven't made one. We know they're capable. We know this guy's capable. Harrison, 2 points, 1 of 6 shooting first half.
Straight up. Klay Thompson.
They're letting him play.
Got it back after the miss. Draymond Green 3 is off iron.
Klay's a little exasperated. So is Steve Kerr, that he didn't get a call there.
Parker with a mid-range.
They're going to have a timeout. They need one.
So San Antonio, a little adjustment at halftime. 3 straight mid-range jumpers as Steve Kerr takes time. Which team would find their offensive traction? And the Spurs, smooth execution to begin the third.
Hi, this is Greg Pop alongside Kelena Azubuike, inviting you to join us right after the game for Honda Warriors post-game live. If they win, they come home Wednesday against the Grizz going for the record. If they lose, they can still tie it on Wednesday, Kelena.
It is a tough defensive battle here tonight. Hopefully they win for themselves so they can keep the chase for history alive.
All right after the game, Honda Warriors post-game live. We'll see you then.
Greg and Kelena are here. History tonight, either tying the Bulls or a chance to break or tie on Wednesday, as the guys said. Either way, must-see TV. Danny Green with a steal. Danny Green flipping it up and in. What a tough finish.
Well, the Warriors have turned the ball over 3 times already in the first 2 minutes. And you can't do that and try to beat this team here in San Antonio.
Now an 8-0 burst by the Spurs to begin the third.
They've hit 4 of their first 5 shots. The only shot they missed was a 3 by Leonard. You've got to have your A-plus game to beat them.
Play missing, but Draymond Green following it home. So finally, second chance bucket for the Warriors.
First time tonight. Nice. We know Draymond competes. Here comes that little 2-man game. So Bogut helps, but the pass went errant.
Shot clock at 7. That high screen roll with Parker. Living it back out to David West. A little show and go. Green corner 3. And Clay back for the rebound.
Curry got lost for a moment there because Green had a look.
Steph Curry from deep. Steph is 1 of 4 on threes.
He hasn't taken a lot of shots tonight. 4 of 9. That was impressive. I think Andrew Bogut thought he had him. He just out-quicked him at the rim. Just get away and let Draymond Green take Tony Parker.
Steph Curry bounced around. That'll be a foul.
Harrison was trailing the play there, couldn't get through the screen, and Bogut could not get to the iron before Kawhi Leonard.
That was swift and sudden. What a finish.
And strong. Good look here.
Curry hitting a 3. As you said, Jim, you have to be pretty perfect to beat San Antonio in this building.
Steph Curry gets open more often out of bounds plays like that. Somehow he can lose his defender with a screen or so.
Kawhi Leonard, the post up on Klay Thompson.
Stay down on a pump fake. Stay down.
Turn around. He shot it long, and Curry rebound in motion. Stephen pulls up for the 3.
Okay, he's feeling it. This is what I'm talking about. When the game starts to open up, it usually starts with him.
Greg Popovich wastes no time taking a timeout. He does not want to see a Curry flurry. So Steph's got 17 back-to-back threes. A 2-point ball game in San Antonio inside 8 minutes.
Welcome to San Antonio. Warriors trail the Spurs by 2. Imagine being Steve Kerr, who reached 72 wins as a member of the 95-96 Bulls team as a player and now approaches 72 wins as a coach for these Warriors. Steve Kerr admitted, when I was with the Bulls, I never imagined that anyone else would ever come close to 72 wins. But he says, now look at us. We're pretty close. And he also said, you know, to be a part of this situation and to be a part of both situations is unreal. I've had a pretty good stroke of fortune. And then he addressed the Warriors specifically. He said, I just feel lucky to be a part of this whole thing, to be able to coach these guys. They're all coachable, they're all talented, and they're fun to be around.
Well, I think that's the key part of it, and it's in the image of the Spurs. Great character people, great organization, great coach, and great fun. Bogut and David West.
I love it in there.
Physical inside. Klay Thompson flipping it up and in.
Oh, I love the little dippity-do.
I mean, that's the thing. The Warriors have so much fun. The Spurs the same. The level of professionalism.
Look at the game open up, and you get stops, you get turnovers, and you get looks.
And Curry and Clay trying to get San Antonio in a scattered defense. Curry, deep three. Bogut is there. The putback is good.
And the Warriors have the lead. This is all they needed. We'll see if they can sustain it. Some stops flowing into the open court. And Curry knocks down 2 threes. And they get an offensive putback.
Shot clock at 3. Green from deep. Bogut inhales the rebound.
And they got a flow here.
Anything in transition, and Steph is fouled.
This is the type of tempo and pace the Warriors want. So the missed 3 by Stephen, but Bogut says, all right, comes right to me, I'll put it back in. For Andrew Bogut, it's only a second shot attempt tonight. Got on the board finally.
Draymond back to Bogut. How about that? A little tic-tac-toe.
So Bogut, a quick 4 in less than a minute.
This becomes the Warriors' biggest advantage. They had trailed by 9. And Draymond a little too physical, crowding LaMarcus Aldridge.
Number 23, Draymond create his 3rd personal, first team.
Inside leading Draymond, and Draymond stays with that play. And again, they are trying to prevent layups. So David West comes over. That's when Bogut takes up the slack. Turn the tables on the Spurs like they were doing in the first half.
So Aldridge, double figures. Leonard, double figures. Steph and Draymond, double figures for the 2 teams. Season ticket priority wait list at $25,500. Your opportunity to get priority presale access to playoff tickets and exclusive access to season tickets when they become available at 888-GSW-HOOP.
All right, let's see if their half-court offense can get some kind of a pattern.
Curry, a little teardrop, good.
See, they've broken the ice a little bit with early offense in this quarter, and now they feel a little more free, even in the half court.
At Oracle, 120-90 Warrior win.
Yes.
112-101 Warrior win. The San Antonio win was 87-79. Any loosening in the game, any tempo, any scoring favors the Dubs. West with a runner of his own, and he'll draw a foul.
Basketball count. Harrison Barnes, his 1st personal, 2nd team.
This little pump fake, and Harrison Barnes overextended, reached a little bit. Rather than sliding out, when you come out of a man like West can shoot that shot, but you could tell he didn't want to shoot that shot.
Well, think of the fundamentals for San Antonio. Ginobili, pump fake, and then.
Yes.
You have David West, pump fake, and then move. Kawhi Leonard, pump fake, and they have a theory, and they're so well coached, and they put the defense in jeopardy all the time.
Well, you got to come out on balance, but with your weight actually going backward rather than forward as you slide out to it.
Iguodala 3, rimming that out. David West will send Kawhi Leonard on his way.
First shot for Iguodala tonight in 13-plus minutes. And as you say, you need secondary scores.
Aldridge is out. Very good 3rd quarter.
Well, he's been their most consistent scorer all game.
He had 8 in the first half. He's got 8 in the 3rd. And the Spurs tied things at 51. Curry on Ginobili and rim that out.
He can beat Ginobili. Ginobili cannot stay with him, but there was nowhere to drive because they're waiting for him inside. He has to pick his spots. They're going to Aldridge each time here.
Aldridge can't stop that. At 6'10" with that skill level.
Well, they may have to make a decision to double on the catch.
Draymond on the kick to Bogut, and he was held.
First personal, fourth tee. Good for the Spurs.
Andrews there, but he just loves that little fadeaway. And he can turn left shoulder or right shoulder. Equally good.
Well, Aldridge has been the barometer in the 3 previous games, Jim. He was dominant here in San Antonio. He had off games in Oracle. When he's on, the Spurs win. When he's off, the Warriors win.
He had 26 in that win here. Well, he and Kawhi Leonard are the future of this team. Tim Duncan, sitting out today's game, scored 21 against Denver, but he was totally ineffective in the game at Oracle on April the 7th. Tim Duncan only played 19 minutes and 4 points. He was minus 13 in the game.
Barnes finding Iguodala, and he hits a 3. So the Warriors have gone small here.
Yep.
Draymond is the center with Barnes, Iguodala, Livingston, and Steph Curry.
So David West out, so they'll stay Draymond Green on Aldridge.
Aldridge well defended that time. Curry seeking space. Steph attacking. Good catch by Barnes, saved the turnover. Curry gets it back. His 3 is perfect.
Well, they're moving the ball, they're moving themselves, open spaces, and they're finding them.
Steph in 22 to lead all scorers. He's got 11 in the 3rd.
This is when it gets to be fun. They're inspired. They're playing inspired basketball right now.
They wanted Kawhi initially. Now Mills driving, and he's fouled.
Let's watch this. Curry. He goes inside, draws the defenders, kicks it out. He knows Barnes is going to be there. So that's pass number 2. And Curry then all of a sudden ends up on the wide elbow for an open look.
I love that wide look because you can hear Steve Kerr move the ball and then reverse it to the other side.
Yes.
And for Steph, give it up and then get it back. It was all illustrated right there.
Perfectly. The defense has a difficult time recovering. They're looking at the ball, they look one way, and all of a sudden it zips around the horn. And you got a long distance to cover.
So Mills hitting them both. High-level game with the Warriors up 2. San Antonio led by 5 at the end of 1. We were tied at halftime. Curry, 13 in the corner.
He's had 2 of those little floaters now. Getting in between shots. Not layups, not 3s. Beating the defense that way. Looking to get contact here.
Ginobili off iron. Barnes high for the rebound. Draymond in motion to a cutting Livingston. And he's bottled up. And the Spurs come up with a steal. Green to Anderson. Well done.
Yeah, Sean would have been better served just to hold on to the ball a little longer. I don't think it was any in jeopardy.
We said you make a mistake against the Spurs, they capitalize every time. Curry soaring in to finish. Field goal and the foul for the MVP.
Second personal, 15.
Well, he's been a game changer here in this quarter. He goes in strongly, but he has a quick release just before the peak of his jump. Just releases it as he's still going up. That is one terrific finish with his left hand.
And Steph even had the Draymond flex at the end.
That was impressive.
So Draymond Green going to get a bit of a rest here as Ely checks in.
Draymond needs it. He is so involved in every aspect of their offense.
A field goal, foul, and free throw for Stephen Curry. And he's got 27 in the game, and the Warriors' largest lead is right now. David West bothered in the paint. Shot clock at 7, and Curry fouling Patty Mills. That'll be his 3rd.
Well, he dug down in and helped Festus But Festus did a good job staying down on the pump fakes of David West. I like to see that matchup.
For the Spurs, Kevin Martin.
It's going to be tough to shoot over Festus Ezeli. It's going to be a jump hook. Not many jump shots over him. He will get a sandwich. Watch the contact. Ginobili is always going to fool you. He'll start to go, and he puts on the brakes so you get contact. That's all he's looking for.
Well, I want to know how quickly Manu processes the game. He knows the Warriors have 14 fouls. He knows the next whistle or free throws.
Of course.
He did that in the second quarter. He's doing it right here.
You have to be aware of that yourself as a defender. 38-year-old Ginobili.
So Manu Ginobili now with 8 off the bench. And the veteran guile of the Spurs is unmatched. Misfiring on the second free throw. Curry, quick release. And the rebound by Kevin Martin. Wanted West initially. Patty Mills from deep. And Ezeli will take care of that. Brandon Rush trying to create a little space, but he traveled. 11 Warrior turnovers, 7 on San Antonio, but points off turnovers only +2 for the Spurs.
I'd say that's a pretty good ratio for the Warriors after committing 12 turnovers.
Ginobili and Festus changed that shot. Iguodala breaking out of the pack. Trying to get it in. Too much traffic. Knocked away again.
If you go in there, you've got to be able to have the confidence that you can finish.
West at the high post, elect not to use the screen. Kevin Martin, corner 3. That's a big shot.
The Warriors defense has been superb.
They're holding San Antonio to 35% shooting. Ball moving around nicely. Brandon from the baseline, shot it strong. And the Spurs can play for 1. Tenths of a second game shot clock difference. Winding down the third.
Can they play 12 seconds of defense without fouling here? That's the objective. Get a stop, take the lead going into the fourth.
Mills from deep. Missed it wide right. And Curry from 65. He backed it in. And they waved it off. Well, that was going to replay because it's at 0-0.
When you're scrambling for the ball, as Steph Curry's in the vicinity, get away from it and let him take it because he knows how to hit shots past half court.
Steph said, I didn't get it off in time, but it was still fun to watch. Warrior lead at 1 heading into the fourth. Warrior lead at 1 heading into the fourth. In a building they've lost 33 straight games in the regular season. The AT&T Center. Warrior Fan Night, final game of the regular season. That will be on Wednesday. All fans in attendance receive a special Warrior Fan Night t-shirt, courtesy of Adobe and 888-GSW Hoop. With the Grizzlies in town to wrap up the season, will they be looking to tie the Bulls or set a new all-time record for wins in a season? 12 minutes here in the fourth will decide that. Barnes on the face-up on Anderson. Rises in, tried to dunk it. But he will draw the foul. Boban Marjanovic, his first playing time. And the largest Spur in to defend the rim.
How about this move? an attempted finish. That's taking it to the rack.
Boban, 7'3", 290, the rookie out of Serbia.
That was a strong move by Harrison. Let's see if he can come alive here in the fourth quarter.
Now, we've seen Marjanovic during the year. He's very skilled and is able to score inside.
Barnes never got a shot attempt in about 8 minutes in that third quarter.
Pulled the string short on that second free throw. So Ezeli with Livingston, Ian Clark, Iguodala, and Harrison Barnes. Marjanovic and Ginobili, along with Kevin Martin, Patty Mills. And there's Marjanovic scoring inside, and he is fouled.
He's not just big, he's got skills. Didn't try to put it on the floor there. He's already at the rim with his size, and he knows they're going to foul him more than likely.
Well, he's such a fun, easygoing guy. He's become kind of a cult figure here in San Antonio. He'll go out and do the personal appearances. He's fresh to the fans because they've had so many of the Spurs stars for so many years. They've had a lot of fun with Boban this year.
Yeah, that game number 1, the Warriors won at Oracle. He played 13 minutes and got 12 points in the process. 4 field goals and 4 free throws.
So very quickly, Mo Spade's in.
He knows how to score.
And Mo rising and misfiring.
Mo can get that shot. He may be a go-to guy right here because I'm not sure the big fella can come out on him.
How much do the Warriors have in the tank? Having flown to Memphis, flown here to San Antonio, back end of a back-to-back, late in the season, and the ball is kicked. It's Warrior ball.
Golden State ball.
Yes, Manu. You kicked it.
He's from Argentina. It's one of the greatest soccer countries in the world.
Yes, and he knows how to play it, too.
One of my favorite hometowns ever. Bahia Blanca. For Manu Ginobili.
I've only been to Buenos Aires.
Harrison Barnes, as he did in the fourth quarter in Memphis.
Well, I see what I see in him is a little spark here of confidence right now. A little sense of urgency and not wasting any time.
What is the score when Curry re-enters? That's what Steve Kerr's looking at right now. Can they stay even with the Spurs or add to this lead? Kevin Martin, always been a clever scorer, tying things at 65.
Yeah, he's still got game at 33. At least at the offensive end. And probably better defensively here with Popovich.
Ian Clark a 3. And rimming that out. Ginobili always keeps the pressure on the defense. Anderson wants to post up Clark. Wheels around with a size advantage, but can't finish.
Clark held his own there, held his position.
Harrison Barnes again, another 3!
I'm telling you, you can just feel the confidence coming from within his body. I love it, no hesitation at all.
So the reserves maintaining the advantage. Barnes, 2 big fourth quarter jumpers. 9:38 remaining. And the Warriors and Spurs playing like the 2 best teams in the league. Our Toyota game summary. And what has been a brilliant defensive effort for both teams. Hotly contested between 2 great teams. Saw the Spurs lead 19-14 at the end of 1. We were tied at 35. 1-point Warrior lead heading into the fourth. Curry 16 of his 27 in the third, while LaMarcus Aldridge, his 18, leading the way for San Antonio. And that third quarter, Jim, you mentioned as the game loosened up a little bit,
yes,
the Warriors found a bit of rhythm.
Well, since halftime, they're 13-24, and they found a way to hit 5 of 9 threes. Of course, Steph Curry, 4 of 8 on the day. He's got, as you see, 10 of 18 from the field and the 27 to lead everyone. When it opens up, they like that pace. They like to find that flow.
Shot clock at 5.
Don't foul here.
Patty Mills and Mo playing the D. The ball loose. It never hit iron, but it's goaltended. Well, was it a 24-second violation? Monty McCutcheon said one of the shots hit the iron. And Sean Corbin telling Steve Kerr one of those shots hit the iron, so it was not a 24-second violation.
Well, for Leonard, that's only his 5th made field goal of the night on 17 tries. Steve did a good job on him.
Steve was asking, could you go to replay to look at that? But it is too late. Now, at a stoppage, they could get some help from Secaucus and make it a 24-second violation, but do not know if that's going to be the case. And Mo Spates, he's railing the jumper.
He's the X factor right now. He's going to get all the looks he wants. Boban, it's difficult for him to come out. If he does come out, Mo can take him off the dribble.
Mills working with a big man.
Boban has an answer, doesn't he? That was pretty clever. Pretty swift, wasn't it?
As I said, very skilled inside, and at 7'3", 290, he's a monster.
Yeah, a little finesse there, as well as strength.
Mo Spates 3, and rimmed it out.
They're trying. Boban, there, no foul there.
Nope, Leonard jumped in.
Yep. Didn't get the call.
Harrison Barnes. He's had 2 big fourth-quarter jumpers, missing there.
Stop the ball.
Kevin Martin had it knocked away. Ian Clark with a quick hands. Harrison Barnes streaking to the iron to lay it up and out, but get to the line.
I don't think I've ever seen Harrison Barnes push the ball any faster, any more determined than he did on this play. Just couldn't quite get the roll. Had a chance for a 2-on-1, and I like it that he just said, I'm going to take this until someone stops me.
So Barnes, all this time, Jim, buying rest for Stephen Curry. Is that Barnes has been the lifeline here in the fourth quarter. Harrison, 7 of his 9 here.
Well, over the last 11 or 12 games, he's just taken it upon himself. I've got to play better. I'm going to play better. I'm determined to do so. And the results are in the stat sheets and the wins.
1-point lead at the end of 3, up a deuce right now. Clock at 5, Marjanovic, and Mo says no.
This is one heck of a game. There are so many elements to it.
Spates rolling, and Spates is fouled. Well, you identified it, Jim. Mo is not more mobile than most big men, but he certainly is against Marjanovic. And so you got to stand tall on one end.
He did a great job there without fouling.
And then move without the ball on the other.
He's understanding the size of Marjanovic. He's not going to block the shot. Just tries to impede his progress a little bit without a big bump.
So Draymond Green back in.
Let me just ask you, how would a playoff series be with these two teams?
I can't wait.
Oh, man.
I can't wait.
I think the NBA should make a ruling. One of these teams moves to the Eastern Conference before the playoffs begin, at the end of this regular season.
Now, if you love sports, you got to appreciate excellence. 19 years of 50 or more wins for San Antonio, 5 titles.
And for these teams at both ends of the floor.
And for the Warriors, 67 wins, backing it up with 71 and shooting to tie the Bulls.
Mo Spates, nice block out, gets the rebound. He's giving him everything they could ever ask for in this series.
Klay Thompson catch and shoot 3.
How long is Greg Popovich going to let this go? We're talking of a lead now of 7.
Biggest lead of the night for the Warriors. They've tallied the last 6 points. Kevin Martin a little leaner.
Once a shooter, always a shooter.
Another part of that deep Spurs bench.
Nice pickup.
Livingston has Parker on him. The shot clock's at 5. Sean's got to get in that rhythm. The turnaround is good.
He wasn't going to get any closer because he saw Boban Marjanovic inside. He said, I think I'll stop right here. Thank you.
But able to rest Curry for half the fourth quarter right now and add to the lead. Aldridge, deep position, and the skill.
Well, he just jumps into you, and I'm not complaining. It's all legal. He just knows how to use his body, so you can't defend him.
So Steve Kerr is going to take the timeout. 5:47 left. Do the Warriors equal the Bulls? Do they pin the first home loss on the Spurs? Do they end the 33-game losing streak in the regular season in San Antonio? 5:47 left to decide all of it. Wednesday night at Oracle to finish off one of the greatest regular seasons in NBA history. Do they go for 72 or a record-breaking 73? Alexa's pursuit of perfection. They have been linked to the Chicago Bulls all year, and those are two remarkably outstanding teams.
Pretty similar stats there. Warriors a better three-point field goal percentage. That's not surprising in this day and age, 15 years later. Steve Kerr, though, did his job. One of the greatest of all time.
Well, Stephen Curry checks in as both teams have unlocked the key offensively in the second half shooting.
You think it helps the Warriors when they get a little free-flowing?
Leonard saved the layup. What a block. So only 8 to shoot. We check in with Roz.
Before Coach Kerr could get to the huddle, Draymond Green started clapping, and he told his team, reinforcing the message for no let up. He said, come on, guys, close it out, close it out.
Long way to go with 5:37 left. Only 8 to shoot here. Nearly a backcourt violation. Draymond saved it. Curry to beat the buzzer. He banked it in. Banked it in with a right-hand runner.
You can say luck, but it just happens too often. He makes his luck. I'm telling you, sometimes he's charmed.
Kevin Martin and Kawhi with David West and Aldridge. Curry deflected it. Stephen with the steal. Stephen a foot race. Running to Klay Thompson to dunk it down.
This is the game they like. Turnover, quick hits. They've got the talent to finish it.
They've held the Spurs to 37% shooting. Lockdown Warrior defense all night.
Parker doesn't go back to Aldridge.
Parker off iron. Aldridge another offensive rebound. Curry, quick hands.
Which ignites a break.
Klay on the kickback. Draymond didn't want that three.
Smart. Patience.
Stephen down the lane, and he's roofed but fouled.
I like the patience of Draymond and the decision not to shoot it.
He said, what would the score be when Steph re-entered? Well, it was +5, and then he just added with a bucket and an assist.
And 2 free throws come, which can give them the double-digit lead. He goes in here. Let's see if there's... I'll tell you what. Steve Kerr, and he wouldn't like it. But when you're holding on the ball and you grab it like that, you are going to fall. They got a lot of ball there.
And Curry, 2 free throws. In the building that has haunted him, Steph Curry has 31. Worst shooting against any opponent, worst shooting in any venue. He's broken through tonight. Marcus Aldridge. It's a big basket for San Antonio.
Well, if I'm San Antonio, I go to him every time. Until he misses.
He's got 22 and 10.
He's the only one they've been able to depend on today.
Iguodala knocked away. Push ahead, Kevin Martin, just too far.
That's un-San Antonio-like. They could cut it a little bit here and the pass is overthrown. When Andre drives like that, he's got to make sure he moves that ball around to get at least to the free throw line. You want to come away with a foul when you drive if you don't convert.
Curry, step back deep three, off iron, and Bogut with a foul on Kawhi Leonard. That's only the second Warrior team foul. So this last 3:30, Jim, is about executing on both ends.
Yep, and San Antonio, next foul, will put the Warriors in the bonus at the line. That's why that turnover a moment ago on the attempted fast break really hurt San Antonio.
Two-man game with Parker and Kawhi. Leonard on the baseline. Bogut sent him away. There's Aldridge. And as you see, go to him every time. He's had the hot hand. He's hitting the mid-range. He's got 24. And Steve Kerr wants a timeout. So a 7-point game. 3:11 remaining. Win 72 hanging in the balance. And trying to end the streak in San Antonio. The Warrior lead at 7. 3:11 remaining. Our Ram Truck shots of the game. Stephen Curry, 31. 4 threes, 5 of 5 from the line, 11 of 20 from the field. The Ram shots of the game, brought to you by Ram Trucks. And Stephen Curry, brilliant. He's got 31, Clay's got 12, Draymond Green 11.
Well, he can beat you so many ways. With the ball in his hands, with the ball coming to him, outside we know, inside as well, and of course from the free throw line. When you look at him, shooting over 90%, second in the league, only behind Jamal Crawford.
How about the execution of the fourth quarter? Warriors 7 of 14, Spurs 8 of 15. We're talking high level, and Klay Thompson off the curl.
They found a little porous defense here in this quarter for San Antonio. The game's opened up, and then all of a sudden the lane is opened up, even in the half court. Beautifully done.
By Leonard, and Iguodala made him pick up the dribble.
They're staying down on the pump fakes.
Leonard, bothered by Barnes, rebound Kawhi Leonard.
Oh, he's got long arms.
Off iron, knocked away. 2, the Warriors.
I think they knocked it off Aldridge's hands.
Well, up 9 here. You're playing the Spurs and the clock.
Yes, and they know it. The Spurs feel it. They were a little down after not converting there.
Curry weaving through traffic. Stephen inside to lay it in.
Well, it's not over, but that is a big step toward a victory and 72 wins right there.
Biggest lead of the night. Beautiful pass from West to Leonard.
You want to keep, when San Antonio has the ball, you want to keep him on the perimeter, make him make a bunch of passes and use a little time. Don't let him score that fast.
Curry gets Aldridge on a switch. Steph drives by. Kick out Barnes. 3 on the way. Is off iron. Batted back out in a fresh 24.
And you use it all. I think the streak is about to be over. Mr. Fitzgerald.
Curry, the ball handling, the skill, the finish. He's a wizard.
This is going to help them if they meet them in the Western Conference Finals. No question.
And Steph fouling Kevin Martin.
Some fans are leaving the arena. How do you describe this shot? A little floater, 1-footer. I mean, we're talking about a layup that is outside the lane, from outside the lane.
You have to credit Harrison Barnes and Ian Clark and Iguodala and that unit that allowed Steph to rest 6 minutes into the fourth.
Yep.
So he had some legs and had a little burst to be the closer.
How about this on back-to-back nights?
The Warriors have had some goofy 2-game road trips this year. At Memphis, then go to Minnesota, 2 games. At New Orleans and Houston, 2 games. At Memphis, San Antonio, 2 games. That's a lot of flying, a lot of air miles, and a lot of distance to play 2 games on a back-to-back. Both games in San Antonio have been on the back end of a back-to-back. And yet the Warriors, in chasing history, are a minute 24 away from catching the Bulls. Little half-court trap. Careful with Kawhi Leonard in terms of steals. Now Curry has it. Ball moving around. Shot clock at 7. San Antonio, the frenetic D, and they do knock it away. It's still Warrior ball with 4.6. And Steve Kerr is going to use a full timeout. We'll talk about the execution in this final 66 seconds. The defense never wavered. They've held the Spurs to 38% shooting. After a 35-point first half, the Warriors have erupted with 55 points in the second half. And the depth of the Warriors on display here, as Harrison Barnes had 7 of his 9 in the fourth. Mo Spates took advantage of the Marjanovic matchup.
Yeah, I thought that was a big factor.
And Sean Livingston with a key bucket as well. That lead grew from 1 point up to 7, and then Curry came in and pushed it to double digits. And so for the Warriors, 72 wins, having lost 33 in a row in this building. Undefeated San Antonio, 39-0. So much at play today.
Well, what happened and what transpired, the offense opened up for the Warriors. Their defense remained constant throughout 4 quarters. Stephen Curry, 11 and a half. He's got 24 in this half, 16 in the third. He's added 8 more here in the fourth in the few minutes that he's played. He doesn't show any kind of weariness at all. He played 34 minutes last night. He's at 33 minutes tonight. He's still got those legs.
And you mentioned it. The 4 meetings we've seen in the regular season make you want more in the postseason. These will be the top 2 seeds in the West. And could they meet in a 7-game series? But it's been since Valentine's Day 1997 since the Warriors got a regular season win in this building. And that's a streak they're tired of talking about, and it's a streak, Tim, we are tired of talking about.
I think you can finally put it to rest. Got to get the ball in.
Livingston from the baseline and rimmed it out. Spurs need 3s, and they need them in a hurry.
The Warriors have actually increased the lead by 2 in the last 2 minutes when the Spurs wanted to change everything.
Kawhi Leonard was fouled shooting a 3. It'll be 3 free throws.
Hasn't hit one all day. And when someone's struggling, you just don't want to bail out. It's the old cliche, a struggling jump shooter.
Well, this is the worst of every world here, is that it's 3 free throws and it stops the clock. Draymond got him on the release.
He sure did.
We talked about this on Thursday. Kawhi Leonard has increased his 3-point percentage by better than 10% over his career. That's the highest increase of any individual player in the NBA. To be on the same leaderboard page with J.J. Redick, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Kawhi Leonard, the top 4 3-point shooters in the league, is really a credit to his work ethic.
It's an 88% free throw shooter as well. Gets all 3 there.
It's a 2-possession game right now. They're hounding Curry. The Warriors have to be strong with the ball. All the steal attempts. Play is doubled. Shot clock at 7. Can Iguodala create space? No. Tip, no. Loose. And Leonard comes up with it. Spurs are not done yet. They need a 3 right now. Kawhi's going to go for the quick 2. That keeps it a 2-possession ball game, but you got to get it in. And Draymond smartly going to use the timeout.
A 20-second timeout. 20 seconds.
Well, the Warriors still have the advantage, but that's a critical foul a moment ago on a 3-point shooter. It just changes the whole complexion. Gave San Antonio a little life. So the Warriors have to inbound the ball here. They do not have to shoot. You've got to get the ball into Curry's hands because they will eventually foul him.
Do you advance it in the front court?
Absolutely.
Okay. And you see, with the Warriors out of timeout, San Antonio still in good shape there.
With the rules they changed, you advance to the front court, you can always throw to the back court. You used to not be able to do that. So the defense actually had an extra defender with the half-court line, but that's gone away.
Now, San Antonio, the 2 seed, the Warriors, the 1 seed. A lot happened today in terms of 6, 7, 8, 9, Jim.
Haven't known that yet. What is it?
The Rockets ended up winning. The Jazz win. The Mavericks lost. And still waiting to see who the Warriors would play. And you probably have to wait till Wednesday night.
It could be any of the 4, couldn't it?
So they do advance it into the front court. You want Steph or Clay to shoot free throws. Livingston also an excellent free thrower. And Curry has it and he's fouled.
Now this going to be John Tony Parker's 4th personal, 5th team.
Steph trying to be a member of that exclusive 50-40-90 club. 50% from the field, better than 40% on 3, and 90% from the foul line. He's at 50, 45, and 90 coming into the game.
Popovich doesn't think he was fouled. He didn't like the quick foul call. Boy, is he itching for a tee.
Stephen Curry on the back end of a back-to-back with 37 points in San Antonio. Final 15 seconds. Into the backcourt, it was deflected. Not a violation. Final 8 seconds. That one blocked. No need to shoot. No need to foul. The Golden State Warriors have equaled the Chicago Bulls as the only 2 teams in NBA history to be 72 wins and 1 game remaining on Wednesday. They tie the Bulls with a chance to go for History Wednesday. They pin the first loss at home to San Antonio, and they end forever the streak of 33 straight regular season losses in San Antonio.
San Antonio gave them their best shot, but all of a sudden, the Warriors offense prevailed. With that much talent and Stephen Curry, what a tremendous second half on display.
Only one man has played for a team with 72 wins and coached a team to 72 wins, and that is Steve Kerr. And this team comes to San Antonio and ends all the streaks and adds to history. And we're going to have plenty right here from the AT&T Center. Warrior Postgame Live is on the way. The Golden State Warriors beat the Spurs 92-86. 72 wins coming home to Oracle on Wednesday for a shot at the all-time record. The MVP did it. Win number 72. The end of all the streaks in San Antonio. They win it by 6 with Warrior Postgame Live, presented by Honda. Coming your way straight ahead.
Welcome to Warriors Postgame Live, brought to you by Honda all season long. They have been chasing history, but now the Warriors are neck and neck with the 1995-96 Bulls. Let's go back out to San Antonio. Raz Gold Unwude is standing by with Steph Curry.
Steph, 72 wins. You tie the Bulls record. Congratulations getting there. There was a time this felt so far away. How's it feel to finally be here? You used the word for me, light years?
Well, it's kind of like 5 years ago or whatever, when we got this core together. You don't really think about 72 wins. You just think about getting to championship level and having that expectation every year. But for us to get to this point, you know, God is good. We got a great group of guys that really sacrifice every single night. We're competitive, hungry. We care about each other. I think we try to play the game the right way. So good things happen when you put that kind of combination together.
For people who can only dream to be like y'all, how tough is this journey to execute, to concentrate, to play back-to-back, to not lose to the teams you're supposed to beat, and squeak out wins sometimes to get to 72?
I mean, every night it's a different situation, a different challenge, but excuse me, we have, like I said, just a heart about, playing the game at a high level, and we enjoy what we do. So no matter, what the circumstance is, you try to find a way to get it done. Like tonight, I mean, back-to-back, tired legs at the end of the season against a great team that obviously we know the history of that regular season thing and all that. Like, we just come out, play hard, and try to get a win and do it the right way.
And you mentioned you guys haven't, as a franchise, not you guys, the Warriors franchise hasn't beaten the Spurs on this court in the regular season since '97. But for the guys that are on this team, how crucial, how important is this win? Because you might see them later in the playoffs, to know you've been able to beat them at home.
I mean, it helps. We obviously have a lot of challenges on the way before we even get to that point. But if that's the case, come the end of May, we'll remember that tonight and the games at home and what it takes to beat a great team. Like the Spurs. So this will give us confidence going into the playoffs, that first-round matchup, because, the playoffs, there's no easy, cakewalk at all, no matter who you play. And we learned that last year.
You tied the Bulls record at 72. That being said, how bad do you want to be at 73 and in your own territory?
I mean, that's the opportunity we have now, so why not? I mean, one last game, the regular season at home in front of our home fans, to do something that's never been done in history of other games. So we'll approach it the right way, and it's going to be a fun 48 minutes to end the regular season. We've put ourselves in a great position to have that opportunity, so let's have fun with it.
Congrats, Steph.
Thank you very much.
Guys.
Well, they have had fun with it, Roz. We know that. But what more can you say about the Warriors when you think about the 72 wins, now the most road wins in NBA history ever, 34-7. They finished the road campaign. That's a new record. They end the Spurs home winning streak, pin the first loss. San Antonio will not be undefeated at home. And yes, 33 straight regular season losses here in San Antonio. That all goes by the wayside. But it was holding the Spurs to under 40% shooting. A brilliant game by Steph Curry. Up and down the roster on the back end of a back-to-back, great contributions. And I think this game kind of symbolized who the Warriors are.
Well, they're mentally tough. We know that. They weathered the storm today because San Antonio hit them with a big punch. 35 all at the half. I thought Harrison Barnes and Maurice Spates in the fourth quarter there were terrific. Harrison Barnes, 7 points when they really needed. He gave them a lift, and then everything opened up. Stephen Curry, we know how brilliant he was. 37 points, 26 in the second half.
Well, I think for the Warriors, too, did they learn or glean anything in terms of a potential postseason matchup? They beat the Spurs 3 out of 4 times.
Well, it's interesting because 3 times in this series this year, and they won the series, they held the Spurs under 42%, including the game that they lost here at around 41.8. So 3 times they held them under 42%. The Spurs shot better at Oracle one time when the Warriors won going away. So the Warriors defense against the Spurs kind of turned the tables there. It's not just the Spurs defense, which is overwhelming, but the Warriors learned a lot about themselves in this series, and I think it's important that they put a stamp on it tonight. I think it's going to bode well, not only for a playoff series if they meet San Antonio, but just in general, because this is the way they want to finish the season.
Well, Jim, your birthday is not until July.
Yeah.
But I would like to give you a gift right now.
I already got the Masters tie.
You got the Masters tie, but before we destroy this video, we will show it one more last time. Go back to February 14th, 1997, when Dominique Wilkins was playing for the San Antonio Spurs, and Andrew DeClercq and Gatling and Mullen. The last time the Warriors had won a regular season game with Mark Price hitting threes. You saw it. You can DVR and keep it. You will never see it again. After 33 straight losses here, Jimmy, that's my gift to you. That one's done.
I have to tell you, when I saw those young men out there today after the win, they were exuberant. They've won 72. They also now have set a new record for road wins, okay? 34 of those. I got a little emotional, and we've seen everything. I'm glad they got that and got off the snide there, but I'm just looking forward to the playoffs. We'll look forward to that last game against Memphis at home and wait to see who the Warriors will play.
Well, Wednesday night, that'll be it. Who is the 8th seed, but more importantly, are we going to watch history in the NBA? Is the team going to get to 73 wins? Oracle will be ready, we'll be ready, and we're looking forward to finishing off the regular season. The 1 seed, 3 out of 4 against San Antonio, the most road wins ever, and now a chance for the most wins ever. Greg and Kalena are right here at AT&T. You will hear from people that participated in this game. The Warriors are heading home, winning both games on the back end of a back-to-back. Greg, it was truly something very, very special.
Fitz and JB, thank you very much. The Warriors continue to chase history. You talk about a team that was determined. My goodness, the champs showed what they're all about. I'm Henry Wolford, along with the coach, Gary St. Jean. Of course, Greg Papa will join us in a moment. He's going to have multiple live shots. We'll have several interviews as well from San Antonio. Coach, the Warriors, 14 points in the first quarter, and they come back and score 57 in the second half. They were all about business down the stretch, Coach.
Well, you look at the Spurs, and they came out with a heavyweight fight mentality. They wanted to be very physical. They were the bigger team. They rebounded very well, and they were tied at the half. But all of a sudden, the Warriors started dominating their defensive board. The defense got great, and then you saw some shot making by the MVP and the best player in the NBA. And look at his wherewithal on the fast break, Henry. 2-on-1, he finds Clay over there wide open. And again, he's always looking for open people when he gets double teamed. Great movement without the ball there in Clay. A little tricky dribble around Aldridge, and he finishes with the right hand. And watch this one right here. I just thought that one was unbelievable. Underhanded from about 10 feet, a little kiss up off the glass. He was absolutely magnificent.
This game was tied at 35 at the half. What did the Spurs do to dictate the tempo in the first half, and how did the Warriors dictate the tempo in the second half, Coach?
First half, both teams really defended well. They did not turn the ball over. The only disparity was the offensive rebounding that gave the Spurs the margin. But in the third quarter, because the Warriors sustained the defense, good shot contestment, no offensive rebounds for the Spurs, they outletted the ball quickly. They got numbers in transition. They got better looks. And all of a sudden, you could see a swagger, a confidence. The defense was the key to get them in the open floor. As the guys noted, they really kept the Spurs down. And I thought that was a big key. Under 40%, you only turn the ball over 13 times. That's a recipe for a big road win.
Talk about some of the guys, Coach, who stood out on the defensive end. This was something else.
Well, you know, you're going to be anchored by Bogues and Draymond, but, you know, you've got guys like, you know, Clay and Andre that, look at that. That's great blockage of the cut and a block by Livingston. You don't realize how long he is. Look at right there, Draymond bodying up against an Aldridge drive, which gets you open floor. And again, anticipation in the passing lane, and Harrison really pushed the ball hard. There's the great hands of the MVP. He's going down, and he finished that one with a great pass over to Clay. So the defense got him going. And boy, oh boy, I'll tell you, that was just like a big-time playoff game, and the Spurs didn't have an answer in the second half.
First home loss of the season for the San Antonio Spurs.
A lot of records, Henry.
Absolutely. 37 points for Steph Curry. He's the guy who led the way to victory. Let's go back out to San Antonio. We got two guys to break it all down. The Papa, Greg Papa, along with Kalena Azubuike. Guys, take it away. We got a lot to discuss.
Henry, the San Antonio losing streak is at last over. April the 10th of 2016, finally the nightmare of Valentine's Day night, February the 14th of 1997 is done. 33 consecutive losses here. Kalena, just watching the game here, the volume of Warrior fans, and they're still here, at the end watching Steph Curry do interview after interview. Then they were chanting MVP, MVP, not for Kawhi Leonard, but for Steph tonight here at the AT&T Center, the home of the five-time NBA champions. It's amazing. And what a performance he put on in that third quarter, turned the game around with 16, 10 more in the fourth quarter. Now they're going to come home. They're flying home right after the game tonight, and they will go for 73 on Wednesday. They can do it all.
Warrior fans are everywhere. It's really remarkable. And like you said, I really felt like the Warriors controlled the game from that third quarter on. At the half, 35 points at the half. Usually the Warriors get at least 30 points in a quarter. It was a defensive battle, but they were getting open shots. They were just missing. And then Curry, third quarter, came out and just exploded. I mean, he was getting into the paint. He was hitting threes. He got hot there from the three-point range. He hit some floaters, a couple off the glass there. And in the fourth quarter, he came back in. It was the Steph Curry dribble around like Bob Cousy show and get to the basket. It was just a wonderful MVP performance by him. And really everybody, I thought the execution there too in the fourth quarter, and also the defense, they really clamped down. The Warriors weren't shooting great in the first half, and neither were the Spurs. And the Spurs kept the bad shooting going on in the second half. And you got to credit the Warriors defense with that.
For 1.5 games, 6 quarters here in San Antonio, Greg Popovich and the San Antonio defense did a good job of corralling Steph Curry, but you could see Pop's frustration on their bench when they kept losing him in transition in the open floor in that third quarter when he roasted him for 16 points. And once he starts with the clever dribbling, able to rock into a shot, he is just unstoppable. The whole San Antonio defensive posture is to go out and get him. And Pop's one of the great defensive coaches in the NBA. He's got the personnel to do it, certainly Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green, but they just could not keep him. It's going to be hard for them to do it in Oakland if they play in the Western Finals. I thought they could do it here, but he just broke free in the second half of the game. They just lost him time and time again, and the shots he was missing in the first half, he didn't miss in the second half.
He is a problem. When he moves without the ball like he did here tonight, he's just unguardable almost. They lose him behind the defense. He knows how to sneak around. He knows how to pick his spots, and his teammates are always looking for him. It would be crazy if they didn't look for him. He's the best shooter on the planet. And then his ball handling. The worst thing about guarding Steph Curry is, okay, everybody knows about his jump shot. And so because of his jump shot, everybody wants to guard him close and stay close to him and be as close as possible to him. If I'm Steph Curry, and you're telling me I have the quickness advantage on you, and pretty much he does on every guard that the Spurs have. He has a quickness advantage, and I have a great handle. I want you to be close to me. I want you to be close to me because now I can get by you even quicker. And I'm by you, and now it's just on to the next defender. I'm just reading the defense, going all the way. You saw the tricky finishes. We talked about how good of a finisher Steph Curry is. He can spin it in from any angle, and then the shooting ability. The guy is unstoppable when he comes out like he did tonight. He was going to the basket. He got a shot going there. Once he got the shot going, the middle opened up and he just started dribbling around, doing what he wanted to out there.
He played a lot off the ball with the Warriors deciding to rest Leandro Barbosa tonight. Steve Kerr played him off the ball where it's tough to get at him. You can't go trap him and go get him on the pick and roll game. He's so good off the ball. And we're going to hear from Steve Kerr coming up in a moment as we continue on Honda Warriors Postgame Live. As Steve was walking off the floor, I just walked up to him and said, on behalf of all the Warrior fans, Thank you. I know this game didn't mean a lot to him, although he can break the record on Wednesday night. But for the Dub Nation that has to agonize after 33 consecutive losses, the San Antonio streak is at last over.
It's over.
Welcome back to Honda Warriors Postgame Live from the AT&T Center, where the Warriors break that streak of 33 consecutive losses, run the record to 72-9. They can establish an all-time single-season mark Wednesday against Memphis. It was a real battle in the first half, tied at 35. Warriors really struggled to shoot the ball. They also shot 35% of the first half, but behind Steph Curry, they came alive, scored 57 points in the second half, and shot 52.5%. We have to laud the offensive coordinator of this basketball. I think he's still the offensive coordinator / interim coach. Luke Walton joins us here on Honda Warriors Postgame Live. Greg Papa, Kelena Azubuike. First of all, Luke, congratulations to you. What's the mood back in your locker room right now? You got 72 wins.
Yeah, guys are excited, and they should be. What they've accomplished so far this regular season is incredible. And, for a team that knows we're in this to try to win another championship, they don't get overly excited after a lot of regular season wins. But what this one meant, a lot of these guys have never won in this building, one. And then two, we just tied the most wins of all time in the regular season. Guys are feeling pretty good back there, as they should.
Tell me about the second half. Last time you were here on March the 19th, they had 79 points total, a season low. At halftime tonight, you only have 35. But you light them up in the second half as Steph is able to shake free against one of the best defenses in pro basketball. How were you able to score the ball the way you did in the second half, Luke?
Well, it's a great defensive team, and personally, the 35-35 score I love. That's good playoff basketball. There's you know, every possession matters, and I think that's what you know, we take from this game. And before we even get into how great we played offensively in the second half, is, you know, we are always harping on our guys that if we compete defensively and don't turn the ball over, now we give ourselves a chance in the second half. You know, if we were out there throwing the ball around and turning it over and not playing defense, we're down too much. So even if we get hot in the second half, it doesn't matter. But we did such a good job at those other points that eventually we're going to get going. And, you know, Steph Curry got in a rhythm, but he was able to because of all the movement and the stops we were getting on defense was allowing us to run out so they couldn't set up their defense. But, you know, when you're talking about players like Steph or, you know, superstars of this league, a lot of times they're just that good. And when they get in a rhythm and they're moving the ball and making defenses make decisions, it's tough to stop them.
The Spurs winning streak coming in since 1997, how much were you guys thinking about that? That's a lot of different teams, a lot of years. How much were y'all really thinking about that? Did that affect y'all at all coming in?
I don't think so. I think, you know, obviously our guys have a lot of pride in what we do, and they, you know, they've made it known they wanted to at least tie the record, if not try to beat it. And then I think in the back of their mind, the fact that, you know, from the young players we have on our team, none of them have ever won in this building. And I think, you know, I don't think that's obviously the reason they come out and tried so hard tonight and gave the effort they gave. That's lower down that list of things, but it still feels good to, you know, when you're a competitive person playing in a competitive business, to come out and get a win somewhere you never have before.
Right.
Even though Coach Adams runs the defense, I do want to get your thoughts on the defensive performance tonight. I mean, Aldridge hurt you. He had a great second half, but everybody else, including Kawhi, really struggled. You look at the games against the Spurs this year, Luke, they've scored 90, 87, 101 on Thursday, but they had a 35-point fourth quarter. You were locking them down, and you locked them down again tonight. Just talk about your defensive effort tonight.
Well, it was great, and you know, I think it started with Draymond early on. He set the tone, and you know, we have intelligent players, so you know, they're out there making the right reads and competing and switching big to big and communicating the way they were tonight, and how we did a lot of you know, last season and at times this season, which is, you know, why we've been a top defense over the last 2 years. And obviously you give Ron a ton of credit for that with you know, the stuff we do in practice, but then you also give the players you know, coming out here and performing like that against that type of team is just on the back end of a back-to-back. That's impressive.
Your execution down the stretch was great. That Klay Thompson layup out of the timeout was just a well-executed play. How much pride do you take in, after timeouts, drawing up a great play and then going out there and executing? It seems like it happens a lot with you guys.
Yeah, it's, as a coach, that's like you're playing.
Right,
you know,
right.
That's when you know, you draw something up that works, and then you kind of hand the clipboard back to the trainer.
Right, right.
That's you hitting a shot right there.
Exactly, yeah.
It works. So, yeah, that's one of, you know, that's one of our favorite plays that we have, just because there's so many options out of it. You know, it's one of the bigs rolling. There's a pin away. So it's not, Klay's not the first option on that play, but, you know, they did a great job of, you know, like a quarterback checking down on the options, and that was the right one.
Audible.
And, you know, Klay noticed, you know, they switched out like we figured they would, and he didn't settle. He turned the corner, and that was a big bucket for us.
What are your numbers as far as percentage of made baskets after a timeout, whether it's a side out of bounds or a baseline out of bounds? Seems like you score almost every time.
I don't know. I mean, we have a numbers guy that has that information for you, but I don't know it off the top of my head.
I'm guessing 75%, somewhere there along the way.
Well, no.
That's high, but you guys do
quite
well.
High. Yeah,
you guys do quite well.
We have some good sets, and we have some great players to execute those good sets.
Congratulations to you. 72-9. You're flying home to go get that record on Wednesday. We'll let you get back in the locker room and enjoy your coaches and the teammates. Let's hear from Steve Kerr right now. The first question when he met the media a little while ago is the reaction. What's going on inside that Warrior locker room after win number 72 tonight?
Oh, well, everybody's excited. I mean, we just beat a great team. And obviously we had a tough task with the back-to-back. And, you know, it's one of the best victories of the year. And with that said, it means nothing, you know, come playoff time. But very satisfying win Happy for our guys. Everybody contributed, and it was a true team win. And Steph was just amazing. So was Draymond. And those guys, they're amazing pretty much every night. But particularly tonight, the kind of defense that we saw. Both guys were just brilliant, and I could name a lot of guys because everyone played well, but those two stood out.
The losing streak here wasn't on these guys, obviously, but was there a sense of satisfaction that you can feel that the losing streak is over now?
To be honest, until you just mentioned it, I hadn't thought of that. And what was the streak?
33.
33.
Yeah. Here.
If you remember the late, great Vitas Gerulaitis, with apologies to him, I'll use his line. Nobody, and I mean nobody, beats the Golden State Warriors 34 straight times on their home floor. Nobody. You got that, Monty?
I got that.
All right.
What does it mean for you guys to deal with the Spurs?
Sorry, he said, I think he lost. I think he finally beat like Sampras or no, it was probably it was before that. It was probably Connors or McEnroe. He said nobody beats Vitas Gerulaitis 18 straight times or something. Anyway.
What made this one of the best wins of the year?
The setting and the team we played against and the back-to-back. And I liked the fact that so many guys contributed. It was a strange game because, and this will be like the playoffs, where you kind of throw your rotations out the window. Anything can happen. So, Ian Clark, for example, comes in and plays 5 really important minutes in the fourth quarter and plays great defense and moves the ball and allows us to rest Steph. And, Mo hadn't played much. And then fourth quarter, all of a sudden, the situation called for it, and he came in and not only made a couple shots, but really did a great job defensively. And so, when you get those types of contributions from everybody, and it's kind of a wild game, and guys are going in and out. It's gratifying.
Obviously, this is the Spurs' first home loss this season. How tough is it to do that at AT&T Center to deal them a loss?
They're 40-1 here, or 39-1 now. Yeah, so it's obviously pretty hard, and we're also well aware. They didn't have Diaw the last 2 games, and he's a huge part of their attack against us. So, like I said, it's very gratifying, and it's fun. Our guys are excited, but it means nothing if we see this team down the road.
Gotta love Steve Kerr. Nobody beats the Warriors 34 consecutive times. The BMW turning point. It looked like San Antonio was heading for a win number 34. They led 43-35 with about 3 into the second half. LaMarcus Aldridge was turning and making all those jumpers, but Curry back-to-back threes. A Clay finger roll. Even Andrew Bogut got involved. He only scored a couple of buckets, Kalena, but a 9-foot jump hook followed by an alley-oop. You go off on a 12-0 run, 14-2 in total, and you wind up going up by 4 at that point after being down 8, and you really never let them regain control of the game. That's where the game slid, the momentum of it, and the Warriors never let the Spurs take back the lead.
Huge third quarter. You said the momentum. They got the momentum. I really thought their defense created their offense. They were active on defense, active hands. They got deflections. They got steals, got out in transition, got fast break layups. Were looking for each other when they got in the paint. They drew the defense, kicked it out. Steph Curry got hot. He's a magician with the ball, and he did it all tonight. Another MVP performance. Harrison Barnes hit a couple of shots there. You know Harrison Barnes is feeling good when he gets that rhythm dribble into a jumper. He hit one of those, and then he hit another one right after it. Draymond Green was big. In the first half, again, the defense wasn't great, or the defense. There's some defense there played, but both teams were getting the shots they wanted. Both teams were getting shots. They were both missing. They were just missing shots in the second half, and then offensive rebounding, too, in the first half really hurt the Warriors. In the second half, the Warriors cleaned all that up. Good defensive effort. The Spurs didn't have a great shooting night the whole way through, and the Warriors started making buckets then in crunch time. We know the Warriors are great in crunch time, but it really started in the third quarter. From the third quarter on, they controlled the game. They controlled the pace, and it was their game to win tonight.
What a weekend here. Won last night when they were down 10 with about 6 minutes to go. Wound up winning by a point on the Draymond Green tip-in in Memphis, 100-99. They win tonight, taking control of the game of the third quarter. We are going to hear, hopefully, very shortly, Draymond's going to come out and join us live on the set here at the AT&T Center on Honda Warriors Post Game Live. He's the one that wanted it. I think the guys quietly did well, wanted as well, but he's the one who publicly voiced it. We're going for the record. He never backed down after the home losses to Boston and the 17-point lead they gave away against Minnesota. I think of all the guys that really, and they all deserve it, obviously the MVP,
right.
But Draymond Green, I think, willed his team to put themselves in this position where they're going to come home, and if they beat the Memphis Grizzlies on Wednesday night, they're going to be the winningest team in the history of the NBA for a single season.
And he's playing like he wants it too. Draymond Green, like you said, he's been outspoken. Last night, another huge effort against Memphis in an ugly game. He comes up big, 7 points in the last 3 minutes and 30 seconds, something like that. And another good game tonight. And I love what he said to his teammates. He's like, hey, we don't want to force anyone to play. If you're not healthy, be honest with us. You can sit down. And that's what the same thing Steve Kerr said, basically. Hey, if you guys are going to be honest about your health, I'm not going to force you to sit. These guys have pride. They want to win every single game. They wanted to come in here and win tonight. That the Warriors haven't won here since 1997? That doesn't even sound right. And they came in here and took this game. I love what Steph Curry said. He said, with the Spurs, they're not going to beat themselves. The Spurs are a low-turnover team. They're so disciplined on both ends of the floor. You got to come out here and take it from them. And that's what the Warriors did tonight. They controlled the pace in the second half, and they did a great job on both ends of the floor. And a bad shooting night turned into a decent one somehow with the Warriors. 35 in the first half, and then they score a lot of points in the second half.
57 in the second half.
57 in the second half.
That defense in the second half?
It's ridiculous. And that's what the Warriors can do against a great defensive team. They were down, I think it was in the third quarter, by like 10, 12 points. They erased it just like that. And they can put up points in a hurry. And then their defense, like I said, it creates their offense. They got steals. They got deflections. They got out in the run. They got shots in transition. They played their game in the second half.
And they won in San Antonio, and they've got 72 wins, one more to go on Wednesday. I think that's going to be a party at Oracle Arena. We're going to be in the arena for Warriors pregame live on Wednesday starting at 6:30. When we come back, Draymond Green's going to come out of the locker room after his obligations with the media. He'll join us live, and also Steph Curry. And the one thing for me was being here in San Antonio, where they won 5 titles, hearing a lot of Warrior fans here chanting MVP,
they were in here.
MVP, and it wasn't for Kawhi Leonard. It was for Steph Curry. Welcome back to Honda Warriors postgame live. San Antonio Spurs now with a 3-game losing streak, and 2 of those against the Warriors wrapped around with a loss Friday night in Denver. And for the Warriors, there it is, 72-9. 1 more to go to get to 73, and they will be the winningest team in the history of professional basketball for a single season. And Draymond Green's nodding his head. He joins us here on the set of Honda Warriors postgame live. How does that sound? You got 72, 1 more to go. You were the guy that kind of willed your group to get there, and now you're really close, Draymond. What do you think?
Man, it's amazing. You know, it sounds great. You know, but it's great to come in here and get a win first off. You know, these guys haven't lost at home all year. You know, we haven't won here in about 20 years, you know, all that stuff, you know. So it's great to come in here and get a win. And the way we had to do it, you know, it was a gritty game. It wasn't easy. We had to dig deep, and we found it, was able to get it done. So, you know, I'm pretty happy with this one. Now we got a 72-9 sounds good, but 73-9 will sound a lot better than 72-10.
That's the one you're after, right?
Yeah. We just talked about no celebration for 73. It's the mentality is we want it in June. We want to celebrate in June.
Absolutely, that's the celebration I'm looking for. You know, when you got the goggles on and you're pouring champagne everywhere, we're not going to celebrate too much if we're, you know, blessed enough to get 73. You know, we'll enjoy it and we'll congratulate each other, and I'm sure you'll see a lot of smiles.
Yeah.
But it won't be no champagne celebration.
I got you.
All right, tell me about some of the private conversations. I know you guys had a group chat the other day, group text, where you were talking about, you know, if you don't want to play, don't play. Bogut rested last night. Barbosa rested tonight. Just tell me what the thought process is, because you guys got number 1 on Thursday, but you still went hard this weekend. Just talk about what your teammates were feeling about these 2 games back-to-back. You had to get them both to get there to 73.
Well, the thought process was to go out here and win them both, you know, and do whatever it takes to win them. You know, like you said, Bogut rested yesterday, and trust me, that wasn't his decision. Coach kind of went to him like, I want you to take this one off, which was good for us because we needed him more tonight. And he was huge tonight in the minutes that he played. And, you know, it won't show up in the stat sheet, but his presence on the floor was amazing, you know, and LB taking tonight off. You know, I called him old, you know, so they need that rest. You know, those young guys can handle it every now and then for him.
I thought it was interesting, without him as the backup 2 guard, Steph played off the ball more tonight. Talk about what happened in the second half, because when you were here on March the 19th, you had a hard time scoring. You scored 79 points. The first half, I think you were happy with the quality of your shots. You weren't knocking them down, but you only had 35 points straight. To score 57 points on this defense in the second half, shoot 52.5%. If you do match up with them in the Western Conference Finals, what All-Star game pulled you aside and told you, go ahead and break my record, get to 72 and 73. Tell me about that conversation with the great Air Jordan at the All-Star break.
It was quick, but I asked him. He said, you know, go ahead and break the record. I said, it's going to be tough. He said, no, it won't. So, but it was. It wasn't going to be tough? Yeah, wow. But it was tough. I mean, it's a long, grueling regular season and a very special moment for us. And, we don't want to have any slip-ups Wednesday, because then that would be a real cherry on top of a great, 82 games.
35 points in the first half as a team. What's the thought process going into halftime after a performance like last night? You pulled out the win, but another rough shooting performance. What was your thought process going into halftime tonight?
I mean, that's going to be natural on a back-to-back 81st game of the year. Stick with it. Still hunt your shot, be aggressive, and play tough defense, because the shots will fall eventually, but if you take care of business on the other side of the floor, you'll be in good shape. And that's what we did. We gave them nothing easy, and just prove we can win anyway, whether it's ugly or scoring 120 points.
I thought you, Clay, made two of the biggest baskets in the game during that 12-0 run after Steph made a couple of threes, that driving finger roll layup, and then later out of a timeout, just a beautifully executed play again for you to drive right down the middle. Was your mindset, because they were playing outside and trying to crowd you on the three ball, to just dribble drive it to the goal if it was there for you?
Yeah, Steve was stressing to me, getting the paint, and it's going to be a drive and kick game because their defense is so good when it's set. So for me, it was just be aggressive. This game's going to be a lot like the playoffs. You're not going to get as many touches or shots because teams are going to slow down the pace against us. So I was just trying to be aggressive, get in the paint, and either kick it out to the perimeter or put it up at the rim. And we have such great offensive rebounders. I knew either one of our bigs would tip it in or it would go in.
Talk about your defense in that third quarter there. Y'all got a lot of deflections, forced turnovers, went on a big run there in the third quarter. It seems like all season you guys have been able to get stops when you really need to. Talk about that.
Yeah, it was. We pride ourselves on our defense. I mean, it's easy to fall in love with what Steph does and our team shooting and our ability to move the ball, but you can't win a championship without being one of the best in the league on that side of the ball. And we have such a versatile team on that end that we're able to switch. We're able to get in the passing lanes because we have so much length and quickness, and I think we use that so well tonight. It's an older team. It's a really smart team, so we just try and disrupt as much as possible in the passing lanes.
You want to get on that first bus?
I do.
I said 2 minutes. We went
first time I've ever seen you guys in the regular season.
I know. Well, we're going to see us a lot. Clay's in a hurry. Go enjoy it. He wants to get on that first bus. He wants to fly home and get ready for Memphis. They're going to be off tomorrow, off on Tuesday and Wednesday. It's going to be a party at Oracle Arena as they're going to close out this amazing regular season, needing one more victory to become the winningest team in the history of professional basketball in a single season. One more to get to 73-9. We'll get you ready for the Grizzlies and the finale on Honda Warriors Postgame Live.
Welcome back to Warriors Postgame Live. Time now for our Honda Drive Ahead. Take a look at the most wins in a single regular season. There's now a tie between the Golden State Warriors, 72 wins this season, and the Chicago Bulls, the team that took care of business in the 95-96 season. There's a lot going on as the Warriors continue to chase history. Henry Wolford along with the coach in studio. Coach, is there anything you see that the Spurs can do differently to give themselves a better chance of winning against the Warriors?
Well, I think there's two things, Henry. One, Tim Duncan will play, and I don't know how effective he'll be, but a big piece is going to be Boris Diaw in the low post, and I think that's going to be really one of the key components to analyze in the series when they play. Tony Parker has got to really, here he is in the box. Watch him now. He just backs you in, backs you in, backs you in. Henry, that thing is wide, that big bottom, and you have a hard time stopping him. Here he goes again. Back in, and he wants to get left shoulder and turn middle, but he's a fabulous passer as well. And this was the game that the Spurs took care of business. You saw him go big to big on that last pass, and if you don't take away his middle move, he's going to score. So there's Leandro talking to him. They're old buddies. So he'll be a big key, and I've said this to you. I still think Tony Parker has to play at a big-time high level. He had a subpar game today. And the aspect technically, Spurs played terrific defense. They didn't do as good a job in the second half of taking care of Steph and Clay on the perimeter like they have, making them shoot just get 2-pointers. But I think a big key will be, what are they going to do on the defensive end to deal with Steph? I don't know that they've got an answer. They've really tried to move people around, and that's going to be a big thing. But I think Parker in the pick and roll and get space for Leonard. I thought Aldridge was really good tonight. They've got to get space for Leonard to operate.
The Warriors had 14 points in the first quarter. They proved that they can come from behind and beat the Spurs. Now, the Spurs play a completely different style of basketball. With that slow tempo, can they come from behind and catch the Warriors when the Warriors are up big?
That's a big question to ask. You just don't know what they're going to do in terms of firepower. They have, their field goal percentage has been around 40. They've had trouble scoring, but that one game. So the Warriors have really done a great job on them. And that'll be a big key, and it's a test of wills. When one wants to play fast and big, the other wants to play faster and smaller. So it'll be interesting to see as we go forward, but it's just a fabulous win.
And give the Warriors defense some credit. The Spurs 3 for 17 from three-point range. That is 17% from beyond the arc. Let's go back out to San Antonio, where Kelenna Azubuike, Greg Papa, the guys are doing a wonderful job and getting big interviews out there. Give us the latest, guys.
Yeah, Henry, we were listening to you in St. Louis, and I think Boris Diaw is going to be a big factor. If this was a playoff game tonight, he would have played. I think Pop would have started him with LaMarcus Aldridge. Talking to Pop today, St. Louis, I don't think Tim Duncan's going to be a factor at all. In fact, I would expect him, if the Warriors do see this team in the Western Finals, we'll see how Dunk is playing, but he's just not moving with the knees, but we'll have to see that. That's going to be in late May, so we have a long way to go. Let's Honda drive ahead and get you ready for Wednesday night, the Memphis Grizzlies. This could be a big game for them. They could tumble all the way to number 8, and the Warriors could play them not only on Wednesday, but next weekend to begin the round 1 series. And we saw how gritty they are. They're ravaged by injuries. Conley and Gasol out. They didn't play Tony Allen, and the Warriors really were outplayed for most of the game by them, and they barely beat them last night.
Well, the Memphis Grizzlies want nothing more than to be the team that keeps the Warriors from getting to 73 wins. They have effort in spades. Yeah, they got players all out with injuries. A lot of guys are down, but they got effort, and they gave it last night. They played a great game. Matt Barnes played well. Zach Randolph hit some buckets in there. They just came out and wanted to win, and the Warriors somehow pulled it out. It looked like the Warriors weren't going to win, but again, they got that close game swag, and at crunch time, they started making shots. They clamped down, and they erased that deficit and came back and won the game. So the Warriors just need to remember that bad shooting night and remember to switch it up sometimes. Once you're not shooting well from outside, you got to get the ball inside. You got to get some penetration. Make sure you get in the paint. You can finish for yourself. Look for your teammates. Draw and dish. When you get inside the paint, good things happen, and the Warriors need to do that.
All right. We will see you Wednesday, 6:30 Warriors pregame live for the arena. A lot more coming your way on Sportsnet Central, which starts right now.
Now on Sportsnet Central.
The Golden State Warriors have equaled the Chicago Bulls as the only 2 teams in NBA history to be 72 wins and 1 game remaining on Wednesday.
72. How sweet it is. The Warriors do something they haven't done since 1997. Win at the Alamo. And they tie NBA history along the way. We're in San Antonio with the best coverage in all the land. Sportsnet Central starts right now.
You are connected to Sportsnet Central.
And welcome Welcome to an historic edition of Toyota Sportsnet Central. I'm Kelly Johnson. Facing a 33-game losing skid in San Antonio in the regular season, the Warriors would not be denied their place in NBA history, matching the 95-96 Bulls for the winningest season ever with their 72nd win. And there's still one game to go. For more, we go across the studio to my partner, Henry Wolford, with Gary St. Jean. Guys.
Thank you, Kelly. Coach and I can't wait to get to the highlights, but we also got big-time interviews going on right now, and Harrison Barnes is out in San Antonio talking to Greg Papa and Kalina Azubuike, so let's go out to the Lone Star State to get the latest on the Dubs.
All right, Henry, thank you. HB just sat down with us, so whew, what a battle there, and you guys came alive in the second half. Just give me your thoughts on the overall game and the celebration going on in your locker room. I hear it's not really a celebration, just another win for you guys, huh?
No, this is a big deal. I mean, when we came in at halftime and we were looking at the score, we're like, 35-35. When's the last time we had 35 points at half? But that was just the type of game. I mean, they made it really difficult for us. It was a grinded-out game. Every possession mattered. And to get this win on this court, a team that we haven't beat here in a very long time, for 72 was huge.
Talk about your own personal game. You only had 2 points, and you were 1 of 6 shooting through 3 quarters. But you had a big fourth quarter. Made a lot of big shots, couple threes, wound up with 7 points. Just talk about when you play the Spurs, you know they're going to rotate off of you quite a bit. You're going to have shots. And I thought you had some good looks in the first half. They didn't go down through 3 quarters, but you knocked them down when you had to win the game in the fourth quarter.
Yeah, playing against this team, it's always next possession, next possession, next possession. They make you work for everything. So, either all those shots weren't going early. I knew, look, some shots were going to come my way later in the game, and you try to be ready to shoot them. Every possession matters, and luckily I was able to knock some down and get to the free throw line.
You talked about your fourth quarter tonight, but really all season you've had some really big fourth quarters. Why do you get better in the fourth? A lot of people tighten up in the fourth. Why are you better?
I mean, that's just, it's when the game is won, and you always try to just do what you can. A lot of times people always notice, the made shots and all that type of stuff. But a lot of times for me, it's, getting a rebound, setting a screen, making an extra pass. I mean, those are the type of things that get me going personally. And that's what I kind of feed off.
I go back to your rookie year when you played these guys in the playoffs in the second round. And with that 1-3 pick and roll, you were matched up with Tony Parker a lot, and you were able to walk him down to the post. We saw a little bit of that tonight, whether it was a switch off a pick and roll or just Pop putting Tony Parker on you. But you always remain poised. You just walk him down. Tell me what your mindset is when Tony's on you. Are you trying to bait the double team and kick it out? Are you trying to get to a sweet spot? What are you thinking when you got a small on you and you're trying to post him up?
Just trying to read the help defense. A lot of times when you get it, our team, we have such great shooters that, they're going to rotate. So if a biggie man comes up, hit the open shooter. If they don't, you go to work, try to get in front of the rim, try to finish, and you just go from there.
The confidence in your shot. You didn't get double figures tonight, so your streak is over. But clearly, back-to-back 20-point games. It seems like the confidence in your shot. And you were playing well before that, but you weren't knocking shots down. Was it just a rut? Did you have to get back into the gym more to regain your shot? Talk about the process of getting that jumper to fall again, HB.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a lot of it is percentages. I would go to practice every single day. I put up a ton of shots. I make a lot of shots. I go into games, and it was just like, where did my abilities go? The ball just rimming in and out, in and out. And, luckily, I've had, great teammates, great coaches that, give me confidence all the time to continue to shoot. And I know they've been falling lately, and it's a good time of year for them to be falling.
You got a chance to win 73 games. I got to take you back. So you win the championship last year, and you come out as the hungriest team this year, and you outdo yourselves. How is that possible? How do you win a championship, come back the next season more hungry than everybody else?
Man, I think it's just a combination of how young we are and just that feeling of winning a championship. I mean, just getting to that mountaintop, seeing what that's like, being like, man, seeing what it does not only for our team and our organization, but for our community, the Bay Area and Oakland. So, just to come back again hungry this year, starting off with a great start, and here we are at 72 with a shot to get to 73. I mean, that's huge.
How old are you, 23?
Yeah, 23.
So you were born in like 1993?
92.
92. You were like you were 4 or 5 years old the last time this franchise, and a lot of you guys don't care. You came here in the playoffs, you won game 2. I should have won game 1. Does that matter at all to end this streak? Because quite possibly, we'll see how it plays out. You got to win 2 rounds. They got to win 2 rounds. But you're going to come back here probably in May and June and play this team again.
I mean, it does. I mean, for our confidence, we've beaten this team, at our home floor a couple times, you know, but every time we come here, we always let it slip away. It's always a couple possessions, a couple turnovers, a couple just, you know, mental lapses that we have. And for us to finally put together a 48-minute stretch, which wasn't pretty, by the way, but
doesn't have to be.
We got over the finish line, we got the win. I mean, that was what really, that's what really counted, and it meant a lot.
Winning ugly sometimes. Last night, you really won ugly, but you won.
Yeah.
Who cares? Because you've won more than any team in basketball. Now one more to go to get to 73. Thanks, HB.
Thank you, guys.
Congrats, man.
Harrison Barnes joining us on Sportsnet Central. Let's go back inside the studio, rejoin the Saintly One and Big Bad Hank.
Thank you, guys. We are ready to take care of some highlights, something that we can't wait to get to. So let's get to the action as the Warriors continue to chase history. 72 wins, one more before they go ahead and take the record all by themselves. No Tim Duncan in this one for San Antonio. Dubs looking for that big win. There they are, hands in the air, ready to battle on the court. Flashback, Dubs haven't won in San Antonio since 1997. Steph Curry, well, he was only 8 years old. Greg Popovich only had 9 wins at that time. He now has 1,087 victories. There was a lid on the rim for the Dubs in the first quarter. Coach, Golden State shot 4 for 19 from the field.
You know, Henry, they had a lot of good looks. It wasn't that the Spurs played fabulous defense, and they kept aware of that because they knew they were defending well. Look at this finish. That's Leonard, and boy, I'm telling you what, he is long and he has big, big hands. He's a special young player. Now let's take a look at Steph, and you're going to see some really acrobatic stuff. But there he is coming right off of Bogues. Great screen on Parker, opens him up. There he is, best in the business off the dribble. Parker says, I'm late. Now, look at changing the sides of the floor. Beautiful job. Here he is on dribble penetration, and he just kind of chests Danny Green and gets the fall. Boom! And he finishes. I loved it. He went power on as a point guard. Now watch this transition, and all of a sudden the horn goes up, but he launches it one Henry from three-quarter court. I think it should have been good. What do you
We thank you for all of our blessings. Amen. What's up, Kim?
There's psoriasis covering my entire body.
You're just blowing this whole thing out of proportion.
No, I'm not. It's like tripled in the last 24 hours.
There's got to be a different way that we can do this without having to cancel anything.
No, it is that bad. I'm going to have to wear a sports bra, and I have it over, like, my entire stomach.
Oh, my God. All right, I'm going to come over and look at it myself, okay?
Yeah, it's so bad. I look terrible. The producers on this shoot are going to freak out when they see me. Okay, bye.
All right.
I'm going to go, like, soak in a bath.
Kim's having a huge freak out over her psoriasis.
One time, before you guys were born, Mom had psoriasis all over her ass.
That's disgusting.
Then she would want me to put, like, special cream all over her ass.
Did you? Chloe.
She used to make me give her massages.
She made me do that when I was younger.
All right.
She made me such a slave driver.
No, I am not a slave driver. All I'm concerned about is Kim and the psoriasis thing.
Well, that's because you're afraid she's going to have psoriasis all over that moneymaker, her big fat ass.
You know what, Chloe? You. All right, honestly.
Chris,
that's
not at the
really
table.
not very
Not
nice.
at the table. We just said grace.
Okay, well, you know what? I'm going to go see if Kim's okay.